get a link to the chat too? Sorry.
Sure. You're live. Oh, I'm live. Hi, guys. Hi. NSSS sisters. We're still here. We're still talking shit, so we came back for random Q&A situation. I'm Christine the Sphinx. This is my sister, the members, also known as Candice.
Candice.
My lovely NSSS sisters in the chat. Introduce yourselves, Alicia.
Greetings and salutations. I'm not going to be here for that long because season premiere Once Upon a Time is tonight, so I have to dip out and then come back if you're still talking an hour later.
What time does it come on?
It starts at 8.
All right, you got a good 30. You got a solid 30.
Mm-hmm.
Lady D.
Hey guys, we're back here because
we're crazy.
So join the party. We have a really good discussion that we were actually right in the middle of before we switched over and decided to come live. So join us.
No.
Hey everybody, we're back again. Doing what we do.
Because we can't stay away.
Why not?
TBZ.
Hey everyone, yeah, same boat as Kingston because I love Once Upon a Time. So I'm gonna dip out to at 8 and come back on if y'all was just talking. And yes, we're in the middle of a theory that I'm interested in talking about, and most likely you guys will be interested. And I'm just gonna throw it out there. Yes, I know I will sound crazy at some point in time, but that's just how my mind works. Thank you.
You don't sound crazy. Stop saying that. Okay, you sound a little crazy, but we like you for that.
Yeah, you're going to have to just accept me for my weirdness like I accept you guys for your weirdness. And I think that's how it's going to work. But yeah, I do sound crazy when I talk about trees, you know, being possessed and taking over other people and sending them images. Like when I say it back and say it slow, I do sound crazy.
Go ahead and pop it off, though. Let's jump right back in like where we were just a second ago.
Well, I want to let B explain because she was the one that kind of first threw it out there, and then we'll just jump on down the rabbit.
Can I get a link to the chat first, though, please?
Yeah, I got you. I'm trying to get it. It's coming. It's coming up.
All right, so here's the situation. We were just talking about the Citadel. There is a werewood at the Citadel, as you all know, and we can discuss whether or not it's dead or not. I need to read through to see if it's dead or not. The wiki doesn't mention it being dead, but you know, details are often missing from the wiki, so you can't trust that a lot of the times. Not that it's bad, because the wiki is awesome. I love the wiki. Don't burn me. But sometimes look or whatever because there's details. But anyway, if the werewood is alive, and you know, possibly that's interesting because maybe because it's separated by something, I don't know. Maybe it's on water, maybe, I don't know, it depends where it is. I guess in the keep, maybe it hasn't been poisoned like the rest of the net. I don't know. That would be cool. But the question is, there's a werewood at the Citadel. Why is there a werewood at the Citadel? 1. 2, the Citadel was created mainly by people with some sort of connection to magic. House Hightower, King Uther of House Hightower, gave basically his brother's fan club, whatever you want to call it. His brother was a twisted boy who wasn't able to really get up and walk around, but he had this insatiable lust for knowledge. And so he invited all these he invited all these wise men, it says, teachers, priests, healers, singers, wizards, alchemists, and sorcerers to Old Town. Now we know that priests, as in red priests, healers, singers, wizards, alchemists, and sorcerers all have some sort of tie to magic. So the question became, well, why did magic die out from the Citadel? Why does it seem like the Citadel is hell-bent on disproving magic or is in a position that is against magic when it seems like the majority of the people who founded it had some connection to it? Additionally, with House Hightower having magical tendencies and possibly being from Valyria, we know right now that Lord Hightower, what has been locked up in his tower, I think, with his daughter for 15 years or 10 years, something like that. It's been a while.
Yeah.
He's locked up there, and she's supposedly crazy. She's probably not crazy, y'all. She's probably getting visions. We all know that when they're crazy, they're probably getting visions. So she's probably getting visions or something like that. And they're fully aware that magic current day exists and would have been aware that magic existed because they're from Valyria, possibly because of the way that they look. So I guess the question then becomes, if the Hightowers are aware of magic, again, how did magic fall out of the Citadel? How is it that the founders have a connection to magic? How is it that the people who would have oversight over it by giving this gift of land to these people, how is it that this place has no connection to magic now when it just seems like they really should? I hope that was clear, because that was a lot.
That was clear. Can we start talking about our answers to that now?
Yeah.
That we started to talk about offline? I think that the Citadel, the weirwood might be there because once upon a time, no pun intended, there was an appreciation for the magic, and they were studying it, if nothing else. So whether they were studying it to take it down or studying it to use it to their benefit. But what I think is that the Citadel found that the Targaryens were too strong through the magic that they had with the dragons. So I think they pushed and encouraged civil war among them, which made the dragons take themselves out, made the family break out into factions, and basically almost put them to be extinct with Aerys and just his wife and kids. So I think that the weirwood is still sitting there, and they stopped paying attention to magic because when the dragons died, the glass candles stopped burning. There was probably nothing left to study, nothing tangible to test out about magic anymore. So they phased it out because for political reasons, if any house had magic, they were going to win. They were going to have too much power probably. So I think they phased out magic, and I think they pushed religion. They pushed the faith of the seven, and that's why we see that so strong there. And that's my opinion. I think they once had a respect for it, and they realized it was dangerous, and that's what's happening.
I completely agree. Yeah. Once you see, like, somebody so powerful, you know, like, they have dragons. What are you going to do against dragons? So you can just show up with your dragons and be like, yep, turns out I'm king. And all your shit, yeah, that's mine now. So hashtag dragons. You know, so, yeah, it makes sense that people that don't want to have to be under the dragon's thumb try to do whatever they can to make it go away. And they did.
They made sure to get rid of the people that could hatch those dragon eggs as well. Case in point, the greens and the blacks with Rhaenyra. There was something special about her because dragons were popping up all over the place with her.
I agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the thing is that they wanted control over this knowledge, and knowledge is power. And like I was saying earlier, I think they were trying to make sure that they contained what people thought, basically kind of like how mainstream media is. They'll tell you one thing so that you can think a certain way and not question all of these other things, because if there's more magic in the world, you know, you have other opportunities and other things that you can get into instead of just kind of this one thing. So I that's how I perceived of what's happening. It's almost like with the Nice King, he did this horrible thing, they say, and I'm saying quote unquote horrible because I really don't know the whole story, but that's the whole point. They erased him, and it's almost as like he's a legend, like you don't know what happened. You don't know if he really was the 13th Lord Commander because that history is gone. It's the same thing. They want to erase that so you don't know what your truth is. It's, you know what, it's kind of like today's society when you think about it. Like a lot of us, we don't know the truth about our own history, and you'll see in these textbooks they'll tell you a whole thing like
A whole bunch of bull.
but it just kind of dawned to me, like, it's the same thing. You want to control so that people don't question. It's a strong thing when you know your history. And then for someone to kind of take that and say, no, I'm going to tell you what your history is, or I'm going to tell you how the world is, even though it's contradicting itself. Like he's saying there aren't no White Walkers, but we clearly see it. In the world of Ice and Fire, they're saying, oh, you know, the old gods never were here. There's no such thing children of the forest, but we've seen caves and we've seen the rotten werewood trees. Like we've seen these things, but I think they do know that magic exists, and I think that that they were trying to keep this contained. We've seen it throughout a lot of history in Westeros where like religion plays like a big role, and it can have a lot, which is the mass, go against things that they might not want other people to go against. So I think it was done intentional. But as far as why they still there, I think that's the thing. I think they do believe in it, because if they didn't, they would have been like everyone else and down south and would have cut the werewood tree. There wouldn't even be a glass candle, because once again, if you don't believe in it, why is it there? Why is it a test for people? So that makes me think they do believe in these things, and that they have to keep track of what's going on, because they know that there are other things in play for the same thing. Like you can get exposed, and we're just seeing all that. Let me shut up.
No, you can go. Like, that was great. And I agree. Like, this is awesome. The reason why I asked you guys is because my whole thing, we were talking about yesterday, the whole glass candles. And I asked, well, do you think that the glass candle being the rite of passage, could it possibly be a way to weed out certain people, and or to be like an early warning system of magic? Like you have this kid that shows up, finishes his chain, and then all of a sudden the freaking candle starts burning. Like, what happens then? So to piggyback off of that, the second thing was, okay, they have glass candles and they have a werewood tree. Like, all I need to see is like some sort of red priestess, like fire freaking bowl or something like that. And I'm going to be even more suspicious of the Citadel, because it seems like you're in contact with whatever is going on with the Red God, possibly through that glass candle, and the Children of the Forest, because the Citadel was built so long ago, so very, very, very long. We're talking thousands of years. Like I would think that you would know about the Children of the Forest, and if you have a werewood tree there, then you're trying to talk to them. This is an academic place. So who are you talking to, or who were you talking to get knowledge? That's great, guys.
And also, why is it frowned upon to question things if this is a place to learn? Like scientists, that's what they do. Like you question things, you bring, you test theories out to prove if it's real or not. I find it strange that if you talk about dragons, that can get you killed there. Like dragon talk, Marlon says like no dragon talk. They'll kill you because of that. Like that's something like you have to pause and be like, once again, you have to believe in some type of magic if you feel as though you need to take another person's life if they start to find out about dragons.
I think it's just a matter of control. You want to control how much knowledge a person has, because we all know the more knowledge a person has, the more powerful they become. But as a means of control, you want to control how much knowledge a person has. Because the minute that they know as much as you or more than you, you no longer have leverage. And I believe that's probably one of the things that a lot of the maesters and the Citadel as a whole, they're trying to control the information that goes out beyond them. Because if people start to know more than them, they become obsolete. And they are trying to maintain the power that they do have, because each house is supposed to have a maester, and that maester is who is the one that provides them with not only education but with healing and all sorts of other things. So they are the learned person in the household. Once a person gains more knowledge, they no longer need the maesters. So what best way to do that is to control how much information a person gets. And if the person seems to be going into the path where they're starting to, learn information that the maesters don't want them to, they downplay it. Perfect example, Lewin, he downplayed any time Bran tried to talk to him about magic or anything dealing with dreams, he downplayed it, because for Bran to actually accept it and for him to, you know, further Bran's knowledge, then Bran then surpasses him. What more can Lewin do for Bran? Nothing.
That's the first time I knew that the Maesters were shady, is when Bran was like, look, I'm seeing these things, I'm dreaming these things, and he's like, nah, all that stuff's fake.
He's like, how many dreams did you have that didn't come true?
Yeah. And I was like,
but it's not the same.
It's so not the same thing, yeah. And yeah, I was like,
And you also got to think about Bran's dream, one of his green dreams, when he sees like all these different visions. He sees Maester Luwin looking at the sky, looking at the comet and writing down on a piece of paper, frowning. Like he was disappointed, like he knew something was happening. I think that he does believe in magic. And when he saw that, it was like, damn. And he was writing things down. The same thing with Maester Crescent, I think his name. He was starting to talk about magic, and then he kind of threw it off at the end. It's like, oh no, I've been here too long to believe in magic and stuff like that. But magic also comes up in his head as well. Now, if these are maesters and you got your chain, you were trained and conditioned that magic doesn't exist, yet somehow you're showing you're moving as if you believe in magic or you've thought of this at some point in time.
but didn't
Suspect as hell.
Valerian still link?
He had the magic link, yeah.
Right, so he studied it, right? So that means he's either studied
exactly that they do know magic exists. Like, it doesn't make sense for you if you don't believe that magic exists. Why do you have a chain for it? Why do you have books talking about it doesn't exist? Like, it would be a shut case. Like, if it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. But
used it as like against Bran, like, look, I have this chain, I studied this, so I'm letting you know I studied it and you're wrong.
Because they're conditioned to teach people that it does not exist. Like, that's one of their main purposes. If anything was to happen, you have knowledge, but at the same time, they're also, I feel like their job really is to contain the people, that you only learn a certain amount of things to kind of put you in your place. It's through power is where it relies. And, you know, you'll hear it all the time saying, you know, blood is magic and all of that other stuff, but it's really in knowledge, because they're the ones who are conditioning these major houses, and they're going off of what they tell them to be true. But what they're telling them to be true is not all the way true. And we see that time and time again. Like, he's saying all of this stuff doesn't exist and you're wrong, but clearly Bran is right.
Yeah, that Maester, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Maester Luwin was also one of the first people to use one of the examples where they say, like, this exists as much as giants and direwolves, and then all of a sudden direwolves show up, and then they're like, nobody's seen the children for years, and in the story, children are back. So I think they had like this political rhetoric they were using, and as we're reading the story, we're seeing stuff that is magical come back, that people are denying exist anymore, and it might be on the other side of the wall in some cases, but the direwolf thing, I wonder if Maester Luwin thought anything about the direwolves being back. Like, that was a big deal. They said it had been like 1,000 years, and I wonder if he knew there was a connection to the children or questioned that at all.
He probably did.
He knew the same stories that old Nan knew. I mean, like, he knew it, and he even repeated it. Even when Osha said, "Yeah, the children are the fourth," he told the story, so he knew, he had some knowledge. But again, I think he just downplayed it. I think T Baby is right, because that's what he became conditioned to do. But I think deep down, Maester Luwin never let go of it. It's just that it was one of those things that never got satisfied. Because I think Alicia had mentioned it at one point. Why is he studying the stars up in his little
turret,
right? What are you looking for? What are you studying? Was he also studying the red comet? Why would you be interested in that? I think it was more than just for scientific reasons. And beings that Winterfell was sacked, we don't know if any of his notes, if he wrote any, are still there.
But at that time, he could have been sent those notes off back to the Citadel. Like that makes me when I read that, it makes me think like, okay, you had to be doing this and writing down because this is like, okay, we got a problem. This kid is starting to have dreams that are actually coming true. Like, what am I supposed to do? Probably send it because no one's proofreading what he's sending off to these different places. Like the Lord tells you what to do and then you just do it. Like no one's double checking to say, okay, before you send this off, like let me see what you write, which it would be a great idea because you never know what these maesters are actually sending off and who they're talking to because they're the ones in control of communication. But I just, it's interesting though, Maester Lewin though, even though I think he does believe in magic, the tree got him. Like I think in one of the brand chapters when he died, the tree he could taste the blood or something like that. Like the tree got him. So you was talking about how magic don't exist, but at the end you really found out it did because it got your ass.
I just did a search, you guys, and I was looking to see if Lewin does have a Valyrian link. I don't see anywhere where it says he does. I remember it said he tried to forge it, but I don't think he got it. Or my theory, like I said, I think he did see something, but he blocked it out, and so he didn't get the link.
So did he say he studied it?
He did study it. I just looked on the wiki. He did study it. He tried to forge the link, but it says that it doesn't say that he actually got that link. And if he did, they would definitely say it.
Okay, I thought he did.
So let me ask you guys this: who does have a Valyrian steel link?
We know Marwyn does.
Marwyn does, but anybody else?
We don't know what Qyburn's rocking. Did they take his whole chain away? Like we don't know how far
they took everything from Qyburn, and I don't think we know exactly what links he had.
The reason I say that is because Qyburn told Jaime that Maester Marwyn was the only person who ever agreed with what he was doing. So a part of me feels like there's some kind of connection, even though I think Qyburn is sick and he's crazy, but he also has some scientific genius about what he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, well, Qyburn, he did study under Marwyn.
So it makes me wonder, does he know magic? I mean, everybody else that did, like Miri Mazdur, they had some element of magic. It makes me wonder if he has a skill set we don't know about yet.
She studied with Marwyn too, if I remember correctly.
She did. I don't think he knows magic, but I think he's open to shit.
He's way open to shit.
Yeah, so he's like
absolutely. He wouldn't be studying that damn star if he wasn't.
Yeah, he's like super open-minded, and people are like, "Hey, the other day I put a rock on somebody's dead father's forehead, and he came alive." And he's like, "Yeah, you should pursue that. Like you should look into that more." I think he more encourages people in the things they're already gonna do. Like I don't think he made Mary Mazdur like what she is. He didn't teach her that. He may have taught her
some stuff.
Some stuff, yeah. But she was already going to be a magi
of her. I don't know. Some argue that she was sent for Dany. She wasn't already going to be there, and she was odd. That's a whole nother thing.
I thought he taught her about. I think wasn't he the one that taught her about the body? Like he opened up a body to teach her about healing or the different part or how the bodies work to know how to do healing. Wasn't that what he taught her?
I thought she said he taught her healing and something else?
I'm about to try to pull the quote up.
Yeah, she's gonna look it up, but yeah, he taught her something, but I don't recall dead bodies. It doesn't even happen. I could be wrong, but she's gonna look it up so we can know for sure. But I remember her saying that she learned healing from him and like the ways of like how the body works.
One was childbirth, I thought, but let's see.
I think she learned childbirth from being
So they said that Lewin did have a link.
Yeah, he just said Lewin has a link. So okay, yeah, so he knows some shit's out there. I don't get why you would try to hold Bran down like that. You see all these things happening. Why would you not try to prepare this little boy a little bit more?
Because he's a hater.
Wait, so Lewin does have a link?
Yeah, he does have a link.
Because he told Bran, I forged my link,
yeah,
and
I'm telling you it's wrong.
It doesn't exist. Like I think he said the candles aren't burning. That's what made me think that he did have a link. Because I felt like that's where he gave up. If he was going to go anti-Citadel and think magic worked, he probably had also convinced himself that it just doesn't. but then stuff started coming back, and you can't tell me he didn't realize the dire wolves and the connection between the kids, even though none of them were
Exactly.
wolf dreams. They were so close with these animals that are mystical.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, I gotta jump off so I can set up to do Once Upon a Time. BT, if you guys wanna maybe do off stream hangout so I can catch y'all's reactions too, that'd be kind of cool. So hit me up. I'll be back. If you guys are still on, we'll definitely be back though.
Have fun, Alicia.
So, keep going is what I'm saying.
Lord Commander.
It says
9 o'clock. I'm gonna be back. So I want you to still be on.
Okay.
it says Mary
I'll
studied.
stick around for like a good solid 8 minutes.
A whole 8 more minutes.
Strong 8.
Strong 8.
All right, I'll see y'all in a bit.
Right.
8 and a possible.
Don't get me started. I can't count possibles for nothing.
I told you I do not play spades with people. I don't trust you.
It says that she studied the medicines of Maester Marwyn, but it's not very
Yes.
detailed on here. And I feel like she said that he taught her some salves and such from the West.
Healing.
Some healing salves. I just feel like she was more so trying to sell Danny on that so she could deliver her baby at some point, take him out.
And it worked.
Mary was pretty smart, even though she died for it. But she was ride or die
She
for
knew
her
what she was
cause.
doing. She knew she was going to die.
She told Danny just enough information.
Yep. She knew she was out of there.
You elating.
You guys want to go to like another question?
Yeah, we have some questions.
Bunch of them.
So we'll hit up Eli's question first. Yeah? Y'all?
Y'all.
Says, with the way the books are written in the POV style, and since we're in the minds of characters, aren't we all technically wargs in George R. R. Martin standards? No, we're not, because we can't control the characters. If we could control them, yes, we're warging, but no, if anything, we're green seeing, we're just watching. But we have no control over anything, so no, we're not warging. That question was deep. I feel like you're trying to trip us up.
That was actually a good response, and I cannot add anything else to that. I'm going to have to agree with you.
Since we are in the minds of the characters, aren't we all? I like it. We're skin changers then.
No, we're not, because we're not
No,
controlling
because
it.
we're not controlling it, and I was like, that's that aha.
We're just watching. We're like,
Yeah, you little slickster,
you
you.
little sneaky son of a gun.
Gilmet.
No, yeah, we're not working at all. Let's see, I have another question. I have a question from the North Remembers.
I didn't know that was unauthorized.
You can't.
Just drop a question.
You're here, like, no, I'm asking
But I
Paco's
wasn't
question.
supposed to be here. No,
I
ask
like
Paco's
how you
question.
put your own question in the chat. Smart.
Listen,
Sorry, I was
she
carried away.
Threw that shit up in here, and I'm copying and pasting. I'm like, wait, this is from you. You're right
My
here.
bad. My bad.
Go for it.
Paco's question, Paco H. When you read the books, who do you picture as the main characters? That's a good one. Monero.
When I read the books, who do I picture as the main characters?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever the POVs are in that book. That's who are the main characters to me. Whoever the POV is. All the other people that don't have a POV, they're secondary characters. At least that's the way that I see it. Well, I can't say that, because Stannis is a main character, even though he does not have his own POV. But we see Stannis through the eyes of Crescent and through Davos and through Jon and through Melisandre.
I guess, to be honest, when I read the books, it's really Bran, Jon, Arya, and Tyrion that I really enjoy, and I see more chapters of them. So I kind of view it as they're like the main characters, because it seems like everything is surrounding them in some type of way. So I kind of view them as the main characters, and everyone else is like, well-written secondary characters, but still not.
Yeah, I would say Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion. just reading through, you know, everything there, it all affects them, you know. Like, even if it's not their POV, it still affects them somehow, those three. So that's what I would say.
Danny, John, Tyrion, Cersei, and Jamie.
Cersei,
I think
They're a big deal. Cersei's kids are a big deal to the story, as is her plot line.
you think they're main
And
characters?
Jamie's about to have an arc. Yeah, I feel like they are. If you haven't,
But
in my
they-
opinion, the plot points to them.
sorry, I just wanted, because I'm about to get off, because Once Upon a Time. But for me, the main characters are definitely Danny, Jon, Tyrion, Arya, Bran, and Cersei. And I think that everyone else are like really great supporters, like you said, T. But I think that they are like the meat of the story. If you took those people out, you would be left with a bunch of things that connect to those people. So
There's nothing wrong with being a secondary character. I'm just
There's 8
There's
movies.
nothing wrong with it. The
main.
question was just like, you know,
Yeah.
from your perspective, when you read it, like, who are the main characters to you?
Yeah, I'm going to stick around for like one more question.
All right.
Bounce, and then if y'all still going, I'm gonna jump back in.
All right, let's see. From Darren, Scottish Boy Q. Will we get done reading the first 2 chapters of The Winds of Winter before Monsieur
Before what? Monsieur Trump.
The only thing I can say is I hope you have a piece of land somewhere in some other, deserted island where he cannot touch it. I don't know.
Yeah, we're screwed. We're all screwed.
We
We
won't.
can all hope. We can all pray.
It's the end of the world.
Hashtag go to the polls.
Hashtag give me some pointers on a new country to move to, because I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go. I didn't even finish the question. I'm sorry. Okay, so
I don't think he's gonna be there. My hope is
he's not supposed to be here.
She's not supposed to be here.
Got that right, girl. Paco H, Q&A, recast the main cast. I can't do that. That's too hard.
I want to do that. You know, it's a bunch of people who've done like cool recasting. I think Tony's done it a few as well. So I'm gonna just refer to that. I'm like a face person. I remember faces. I'm comfortable with names. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't just pull like actors out of the sky. I'm sorry, I just saw Tony Teflon's question. That's coming up next. She's hilarious.
Whoa. We debated that one recently. Oh,
It's the
what's the
winner.
next one?
Say that one before it's time for us to go.
Castle thought.
About
Castle thoughts, T.
huh?
Name the castle thoughts. Who's the castle thought?
Cersei definitely a castle thought, but I will say Aegon the Unworthy is the biggest castle thought.
Thoughts.
Rob?
Rob, yes, and he's got still living castle thought.
Oh.
Catelyn Stark is a castle thought. Let's be real. Brandon
She's
Stark,
reformed.
castle thought. Come on, we all know that's true. Who else? I'm even gonna say Liza. She's a castle thought. Be real. Stannis, hate to say it, castle thought. He got around. Renly.
He's hanging out with Sansa right now.
On the show, not Renly. Loras was a castle thought. Oberyn.
Oh yeah,
Castle
Oberyn for sure. And
Like
Illyrio.
he gets around.
And the Elaine character, the chick Sansa's hanging with, whose husband like died on top of her.
Oh yeah, she was a young thought.
Yes, the Royce chick, yes, definitely.
Miranda Royce.
Miranda.
Dion castle thought. Yara, Asha, whichever way you want to call her, castle thought. I mean, let's just face it. Majority of the noble women are castle thoughts. Oh, what's the other chick? The Lannister chick. Their mama. Huh?
No,
Joanna Castle thought. Okay, let's just call her.
She was in love.
She was.
No one is left out.
I
No one is left out. everybody's a castle thought.
Let's just, I
Serious
mean,
in there.
they keep talking about how, you need to keep it in your pants and stuff, but they was getting around. I mean, you had Kat who hates John because she thinks that's his baby, and like, she hates this kid and said, "Oh, I wish you was dead, not my baby." I mean, Castle thought like they all majority. I'm pretty sure majority of these quote unquote noble people are bastards, if some way, shape, or form. I just think that that's the funniest thing about this, that they keep saying bastards are these like horrible people, and you got being horrible people to people, But I gotta go because it's late. But if you guys are still on, I'll jump on, and I love you guys.
Bye, T.
Bye. What about Lady Destin and Brandon Stark?
Yeah, they were definitely hitting it early.
Brandon Stark was
Hey, guys.
definitely a guy I thought. Like, he was nunchucking hoes like left and
He
right.
may or may not maybe.
He could be a thought, but I don't think she would be one because she wasn't really out there. He was the only person that, well, he was one of only 2 people that she probably slept with other than her husband. So
You don't know
can
that.
she really be a thought?
Are you calling me?
No.
Who calling me? I don't think you're playing on my phone.
We lost B.
Okay.
Did Brittany go to watch the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, Once Upon a Time is the joint.
Basically,
Okay.
I need to get up on it. I mean,
but I'm not going to watch it. I gotta go. I gotta
you
work
can't
tomorrow.
leave me. You gotta give me. You gonna leave me?
I wasn't sure.
Ertak had a pretty interesting question.
What was it?
He said, can Martin be composing a half ending? I mean, in The Hobbit, the One Ring was found, but no one knew it to be the key to the whole real thing. And I think his premise is, could Martin have written the story kind of like a ruse where he has, let me see how he put it. I don't want to steal his words.
I'm sure I can just answer that because I already know, like, the type of writer that he is. He's not he considers himself, like, he calls it like a gardener. Like, he just drops this off,
Lets it grow.
and sees where they go.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you write in that way, you can't have these well thought out plots and points. So it kind of just, you just write. You just let the characters do their thing and let shit happen. And then if you need to go back and like change some things to make it make sense, then you do that. But I just don't think honestly, just gonna say it, I don't think he thinks that much about it as we do or did. And I'm saying this as a writer myself, right? I'm like, I know about world building and creating stuff, but he's a genius. But I think that we dig so far deep in his genius that sometimes it's actually, it's just what's on the surface. It's just what it is. Some stuff is, there are theories and stuff that's true, but a lot of it, I think we create it on our own because it's fun. And
I think it's because anytime you have a story where you don't have an end, people tend to create an end.
Make your own ending.
Right?
Exactly.
And anytime you have a compelling story that digs so far into the human condition, everybody interprets it based on the lens that they see through, right? So if my past experiences, I see things differently than somebody else. So when I read a character's point of view, we're seeing it through their lens. But somebody else, I think we have an instance in the book where we get the same thing from 2 people's point of view, and that's Sam and John. One of Sam's chapters and one of John's chapters is the same exact thing, but it's being told from their respective point of views.
Yeah.
What is it? Because I've been wondering about
one
that.
where he told Gilly she had to leave and switch her baby. That one blew my mind. I was like, wait a second, I already read this, and then I was like, oh no.
And that's the only one, isn't it? That's the only.
Well, it's one.
Yes.
There's several where some stuff crosses in the story,
but not like that.
But not like that. Like it was 2 people side of the same situation. Her running out the door, him talking to her behind the door, and that was like, that dude writes so well. I just can't even put words.
Right. So based on what lens you are looking from, when you read a person's point of view, you're interpreting it. You unintentionally internalize what it is that you're reading, and so you interpret it in that way. And because we don't have an end, everybody is now sort of kind of has more questions than answers, and so our need for closure, if I can't find a better word, our need for closure causes us to interpret things in order for us to come to a logical conclusion as to how the story should end based on our own viewpoint and our vantage point.
That's exactly right, yeah. And we take our own perspective, and inject it into the story and make it, that's why we like the characters that we like. I'm not saying any names. Sansa.
I think I like the characters in that story very opposite from my personality and what I would do in life. I think I have the opposite with Game of Thrones. The fact that I even like a show like that as a fairly calm, reserved person, and I like cheer on murders and violence and fight scenes, and I'm like, I kind of think I have the opposite. I like characters that are not like me.
So who's your favorite?
Arya, and then Brienne.
But they're both a lot like you.
Well, I wouldn't think so, though. I would think I would like the romantic storyline, which is my typical genre.
You would think, right? Yeah.
But I think that's boring compared to let's go murder and join a faceless faction.
In your everyday life, though.
And shank people daily.
You're literally like Arya or Brienne. Like
I wouldn't see that, but I like that.
She's killed people.
I haven't. Don't say those things. Never.
I stabbed somebody once.
I did not see that coming. Did they deserve it? That's all that matters.
Did they die?
Yes. Actually, it was in defense of my mother, so.
Lannister, send
you gotta defend your mom. Did you say that you sent your regards when you did it?
I wasn't smart enough to think about that. I was 15 at the time, so.
Oh, man.
I didn't think about it then.
You never know what happens in one's path.
There's another question from Eli. Have you guys ever considered doing a linear reread? Yes. Reading all the chapters in the order they course. Yes, Eli. I completely
Somebody has
have
done that.
They're doing it now.
Westeros?
No.
History of Westeros.
Nope.
Vassals of Kingsgrave.
Yes.
I love it. I will recommend theirs. I love it.
But
Love it.
But it's frowned upon because he didn't write the shit that way.
But
he didn't want us
I like
to
it
read
that way,
it that
though.
way.
Now, only after I've read every book will I do that. But I love it. After reading them all and listening to it in chronological order, you're just like, what the?
Yeah, it's only okay if you already know all the stuff, I think, and then go back and look at it linear, like in a linear way. But if you're coming like fresh in, no.
It didn't spoil it for me after reading it and watching the shows, just because it's a different interpretation. You pick up, it's like another way to absorb the information. I loved it.
And it's kind of weird how, like, and thank God for Vassals of Kingsgrave for doing that, for real, because I didn't even know, like.
Somebody laid out a timeline. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I printed that
Monero?
out.
They laid out like the timeline by date. It's a good reread.
No, it's good. I had to find a link for you, because it breaks it down, like, by month.
283, excuse me, to 294, you know.
So you know what each POV, when it took place. And it's weird because, like, when they're doing it, and I'm just speaking of Vassals of Kingsgrave, and I'll have to put a link in here, after I post this. But, like, there'll be, like, 6 chapters before there's, like, a Daenerys chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 10 chapters before you see Jon again. Because if you do it time-wise,
on what's occurring where.
Yeah.
I think
some storylines are slower than others.
Stuff like the comet thing was super interesting, seeing how everybody saw that, what was going on, which you could kind of put that together from the book more than anything else on events and where people were when it all started showing up. But
it's awesome.
That's a good reread. I haven't even finished all of it, but what I was able to listen to while doing chores was really good.
I would love to do a linear reread, but because Vassals of Kingsgrave are doing it, I feel like I'm already doing it because I just listened to them. It was awesome. Y'all should check them out for Vassals.
Vassals.
Live.
Yeah, I've come to appreciate a lot of when somebody takes the time to do it. That's the one thing I appreciate about this fandom, and that in our own way, it's how you view things, right? The lens that you see things, how does it make sense for you? And sometimes you become so impassioned by something, you feel the need to have to create something from it, right? And then you're going to share it. Basically is what we all do. Like in our own way, we take what is how we view and what we think or what we love about this story, and then we share it with everyone else. Because there's always going to be at least one other person who is going to think the same way that you do, or who is in sync with how you think.
That's what we do now.
Yeah. And I love when we don't agree, because that leaves a area of debate, because if we all thought or liked all the same things, then it would be boring. And I like that if we don't always agree, because I am able to see how you view it and how it translates to you. Even if I don't agree with it, I can appreciate how it translates to you. It gives me the opportunity to see it how you see it, and then you get to see it how I see it. It doesn't necessarily mean that I need to agree with it. It's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And then the only thing I'd have left is, well, why do you say that? Well, what was your thought process that allowed you to see it that way? So that's one of the main reasons why I watch so many different videos. Not that I always agree with what I'm watching, but I am intrigued by how a person comes up with their line of thought. Again, and to me, it always starts with your personal viewpoint or vantage. Your personal experience allows you to be able to interpret the information that you're taking in and then translate it out for somebody else to hear.
Yep, that's what I love about it. That's what when Christina first told me that so many people had YouTube videos about the Game of Thrones, and we didn't have a lot of people to talk about it to, and the husbands got tired, and our other sister doesn't care any lick about the show or the book. So it was like we wore ourselves out, and then I was like, I wish we could talk to other people. I wonder what other people think. And then who knew the World Wide Web? There's like a world of YouTube people and content where you're like, I didn't see that. And so the ability to watch other people's ideas and suggestions and interpretations and then talk to y'all is crazy.
Exactly.
And then you become, you feel less of an obsessive person for loving the show like you do, but we all love it, and we come back to this. Yes, because and my husband's like, but the show's not even on right now, and I'm like, we're not talking about this season. Like, it's so last season.
Somebody asked me at work when the season ended, they were like, so since the show's off, what are you going to talk about? I was like, bitch, everything.
The book, like, it goes on, and even after these last two, I imagine we'll still have like a couple years worth of things to discuss.
Just imagine.
On what we think of each book as it goes. So I love it.
Yeah.
We all interpret it different, and the guy's a freaking genius, man.
He's got us hooked for years. There's people.
I'm definitely buying those books. If I could pre-buy them, I'd buy them right now.
Dude.
I promise. Before I even got into Martin, I was huge into Tolkien, right? I had been reading The Lord of the Rings, like almost religiously, at least once a year. I was reading Lord of the Rings. I was huge into Tolkien. I even read the prequels, like The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, The Children of Huron. And again, I'm just going to attribute it to the fact that we do not have any closure with this story. And until we get that, and that's just human nature. If we do not get a conclusion, we almost feel forced and driven to come up with our own conclusion so we can satisfy that need within us. We cannot have a story that have no end. It's because we kind of live through those. I don't know about anybody else, but there are a lot of times when I'm reading this, when I read a lot of these chapters, I almost feel like I interject myself inside of them. Like, what are you doing? You're not part of this story. Get out. But I almost feel like I interject myself because I'm looking to kind of make an ending for it, or the ending that I think that it should have. But I think until we get that last chapter or that last epilogue or of this book, we're still going to be here talking about it for days. We're going to keep theorizing about it for days because so many questions left unanswered, so many open-ended storylines. And it's like, I don't have an end. What am I supposed to do? What do I have left to do but to talk about it? Maybe somebody else has an answer that can help to satisfy it. But we end up with more questions than we do answers. And so here we are.
Circles and circles and circles, and there's like thousands of people making videos about this same stuff, having these same discussions, and we just keep going and going and going. I hope one day to create something like that, to where people just spend their minds, you know,
Their spare time, you know, re-going over it and evaluating it and discussing it. Like, I like to think of us as a book club. I think we're basically a book club online.
Mm-hmm.
We sit around and talk about this. We shoot our Q&As. We make observations of what we think is going to happen. It's just like we're sitting around weekly meeting. I mean, more than weekly sometimes further apart, but it's fun. And those last 2 books, I cannot wait. I gotta, Monero, I gotta sign off. I mean, I'm leaving. I'm not signing off. I gotta go home.
My house.
So I'll see you later, girl. And
All right.
Everybody in the chat. Oh God! Oh, help me. Bye. You got your head in my mouth.
I'm sorry. It gets in the way. Do I need to walk you out?
No, you're good. I can find my way to the door.
I can see my way
I
out.
can see my way out. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, Monero.
Dorothy's leaving me. Oh, and she's taking her chair too.
You want my chair?
No, I don't
You
need it.
want it? You want gangsta with me?
No, I'm
All
good.
right. Bye.
Hasta mañana.
All right.
Beach.
I will. I gotta come back.
And then there were 2.
And then there were 2.
And then they started talking about... I'm not going to do it. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save it.
Yeah, the title we've already started this one topic.
I'm going to stay on track. So the title is Random Q A, correct? Did I see a Song of Ice and Fire Q&A or Game of Thrones Q&A?
Well, the majority of the people that we have here are mostly Game of Thrones. So anytime you dubbed NSSS, it's gonna be Game of Thrones related.
Yeah.
I've already tried. I think the last time I said, let's have a Q&A, the challenge will be no Game of Thrones. I think half of the chat wanted to bite my head off. So
You know what though? I like the idea.
I'm not diving into that territory again.
I like the idea of just Q&A, like whatever you want to ask. Game of Thrones, yeah, hell yeah. Anything else? Sure. Shade of the evening, where can you put it? I'll tell ya.
I think someone earlier had asked the question, I can't remember, about who you think the Ghost of Winterfell is. And I can't remember what else they asked. I think it was, who was the Ghost of Winterfell?
Well, I Am Trump just asked a question. You want to look at that one?
Sure.
Why is Sansa the most awesome character in world? This shit on purpose. It's me and you. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go in. Sansa.
Well, I make no secret that Sansa is not my favorite character, but I do have empathy for Sansa, in the sense that I understand. Well, let me preface this by saying I have more of a bias towards book Sansa than I do show Sansa, because I have not really watched all of the seasons of Game of Thrones, the show. So everything that I'm about to say is in relation to book Sansa. I'm not going to be talking about show Sansa, because I think they're 2 different entities. I don't think they're the same person.
Book Sansa.
Okay, so book Sansa, people need to remember that she is under the age of, she's between the age of, I think she's 11 at the start of the story. So she is a tween for all intents and purposes. And she is doing what a normal tween does. Yes, she is an annoying 11-year-old girl who learns really fast that your actions has consequences. So, and even in the one thing that annoys me more about her is I don't appreciate the way that she always throws, that she has not yet come to the point where she appreciates her little sister to the point where she becomes protective of her. And the only reason I say that is I remember being 11 and having my younger sister, and no matter how many times I may have teased my baby sister, or you know what I mean, or I mushed her or whatever it is I did, I would not allow anybody else to put a hand on her or say anything about her. I was very, very protective of my baby sister. And that is the one thing that kind of annoys me about Sansa, because Sansa is a tad bit too superficial for me in the books as a character. But that's not to say that I don't empathize with her, because she is a prisoner of war. She is going through a lot, and she's, doing her best to survive a very harsh situation. And I really do empathize with that. But at the same time, there's just some things that I would think that you would need to learn more. Another example is her thing with Dantos, right? Why would you spill everything that people are saying to you to somebody who's drunk? I mean, yes, he says he's going to get you out of the city, but that doesn't mean that you get to open your mouth and say everything, right? Some things you need to learn how to keep to yourself. But in your excitement of going to Highgarden, and I have to blame this on her being a tween and her being a little girl, you would have thought that you would have learned that lesson from when you went to go to the Queen to tell about your father, something bad happened. You would have thought that you would have learned a lesson not to do it again, but you did it again. And then next thing you know, you're now married to the imp. You've pretty much kind of destroyed your chances of actually having a better life. And I would have thought that she would have learned that lesson. But then again, I have to rein that back and remember that she's only 11 or 12.
She's a child. She's literally a baby.
She's a child, you know what I mean? And she's doing child things, and she's not her sister. And I guess that's why I am more partial to Arya than I am to Sansa, because for me, like, Sansa reminds me of like one of those dumb blondes, and Arya is more. I relate more to Arya because Arya reminds me like any other Brooklynite that if you're, that has like street smarts. And so I guess I gravitate more towards Arya because of that. Not to say that I think Arya is better than Sansa. I just gravitate towards Arya more because of her ability to read a situation and understand a situation and be able to make decisions and learn. Like, if she did something wrong once, she learns from it. If she's put in that situation again, not to do it again.
Well, let me jump in because I want to talk about what you're talking about at this moment before I forget it. So saying that Arya is able to adjust and doesn't make the same mistake twice, but Sansa also adjusts and doesn't make the same mistake twice. Like, she's been beaten and she's learned how to maneuver her way through King's Landing in the whole political side of stuff, while Arya is learning how to maneuver her way basically in the streets, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're even. People always pull out Arya like she's better. I'm not saying you said that, but a lot of people say Arya's better than Sansa because she literally kills people with her hands and she's a badass. But it doesn't make her, in my eyes, any better than Sansa because Sansa has survived King's Landing. Under Joffrey and Cersei, as the daughter of Ned the betrayer, she's still alive. Not only is she alive, but she made it out, and now she's sitting, to the right hand of the king, of the North, and she's doing pretty good for herself. And I don't like to compare Sansa and Arya because they can't do each other's jobs. They're not the same person at all. Like, you can't put Sansa in the streets. She won't survive. Arya cannot make it a day in King's Landing. She'll, like, fuck you, and somebody's killing her or she's killing somebody. So they both have their strengths and weaknesses. I don't think just being able to just kill somebody necessarily makes you stronger than somebody that's not trained in killing. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying. The only point that I probably would disagree on is I do believe Sansa made the same mistake, and I referenced that I would have thought she would have learned the first time when she ran to the queen and told something she wasn't supposed to say, like gave information that caused her father to be arrested, and she ended up in that situation. I would have thought she would have learned to not just divulge information because she feels that, she will get what she wants in the end. Sometimes it's best not to speak. And I think that she made that mistake with Dantos when she went to go meet him in the Godswood. She spilled the beans about how she was going to go off to marry Willis in Highgarden, so she didn't need him anymore. Instead of just playing the part, or even going. Why even go to the Godswood? Why? You already had plans. There was no need for you to go there anymore. You didn't have to even go to Dantos. And that is where I feel like she made the same mistake. She divulged information she didn't need to, and so it changed the course of her life in such that now she ended up married to Tyrion, and then we all know how the rest of that goes. With respect to Arya, I don't compare the two of them. I just say that I gravitate more to that sibling than I do to Sansa. I don't compare them. I don't think they are the same in a lot of respects. But I think they're their own unique individuals. But the one thing I can say about Arya is I think Arya did look up to Sansa, and she was expecting Sansa to be a big sister, and Sansa was not. And the only reason I can say that is when you read the first chapters from Arya, when Arya describes Sansa, she said Sansa had everything. She said maybe Sansa was beautiful, Sansa could sing, Sansa could do needlework. Sansa, the only thing that she was better at Sansa at was riding a horse. And she said maybe by the time that she was born, nothing was left for her. And for me, that kind of, and when you read the part where she talks about how when everybody is doing their needlework and how Sansa is off talking with Beth Cassell and Jane Poole, and they're actually making fun of her, she really talks more about how Sansa reacted. And to me, that's just a little sister who is looking for approval or something from her big sister to kind of, show her some form of acceptance or affection, and her sister didn't give her that. Even when they went to King's Landing, you know what I mean? No, even when they were on the road, right? And that whole thing happened at the Trident with Joffrey. Instead of her sister standing up for her, her sister decides not to say anything, which, which ends up in tragedy. So for me, even after when Arya is traveling through the Riverlands and the Brotherhood Without Banners grab her, she has a moment where she thinks about seeing her mother and seeing Sansa, and she says to herself, you know what, she'll even beg Sansa's forgiveness, that she'll like that, that she'll be a proper lady. Maybe her lady mother will love her more. I think Arya goes through the whole process of getting to a point where she feels that she's willing to be what they want in order for them to accept her as who she is. And so that is that is one of the dichotomies that I think that exists between Sansa and Arya.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh while you're talking. But the damn Chapman arrow.
I haven't seen it.
Don't
I'm
look.
too busy talking.
Don't look. They talking about Dirty D goes downtown. Dirty D goes downtown. It could be a new series on Netflix. Just keep the lookout for that. You guys are so gross. I can't even. Okay, I have a question. It's not about Dirty D going downtown.
Mm-hmm.
John Hofs. I think I said it right, John. I know you've told me before how to say it. I think it's Hofs. Who was / is your favorite couple / duo in the series?
Jamie and Brienne.
Off top?
Mm-hmm. I like Jamie and Brienne. I think they're they tickle me. Close second is Arya and the Hound.
So for me, it's Arya and Gendry. And then, wait, you make me lose my thought. My thought's here. Hold on. Thought. Tyrion and Jorah.
Nice.
Hold on, my children are here. 1 second. Yes, children.
Tell your kid, cut it out.
Cut it out.
She's putting water on everything. She put water on the floor, she got my pants wet. I took a shower, these nice dry pants. She got the bed.
So stop doing that.
And tell her don't to fling, not to fling hair till I
Everything she said, don't do that.
the ceiling fan.
Mm-hmm,
And she's like, she's flying.
All those things. Okay. Oh, you don't do it either. Okay, bye, guys. Mother of the Year.
Just saying, you got that on lock.
Yeah, I thought.
All those things, don't do that. They just snitch. They're just like, she looked at me, she touched me, she put her plate in my space. Don't put your plate in your sister's space.
Seemed like a good place for it to go.
No, literally, yes. That's like the exact reaction I'll get. They're like, well, I just wanted to put it there. Why is it a big deal? Anyways, kids, huh? Yeah.
What's your favorite go-to snack? That's Alan.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like raw pepperoni. Buy it in a little package. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you buy it in a little bag.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have some in my fridge. I can grab it if you need to know what it looks like. Love that shit. I sit there and eat pepperoni all day. I'm like,
I like Lay's barbecue chips.
I don't eat potato chips. I actually don't eat any junk food. I'm drinking soda now for health reasons, but it's hard for me, and I'm almost about done with that shit. I've had a lot of babies, so I have to like be really careful with the shit I eat, or else I'll be like,
Shoot, I've had no babies, and I still gotta be careful, but that's just with age.
and I'm aging too, so yeah, double conundrum. Like, and yes, David,
But I've always been a
I like
bit of a thickums, so I'm a thickums. I just have to accept it.
I do eat one grilled cheese sandwich every night before I go to bed. It's a thing. I don't know why. I just have to eat a grilled cheese sandwich. And I know pepperoni isn't healthy either. It's my snack, my go-to like thingy. I don't have tons of pepperoni on hand, right? It's just my
Pepperoni and
that shit ain't
pepperoni.
cheap. Yeah. When I'm like, then I have my pepperoni. And I do have a grilled cheese every night because reasons. Q&A, favorite horror movie?
I don't watch horror.
I don't either.
I don't
No,
like
I can
horror
tell you.
movies.
I found something.
What'd you find? Oh, thank you. Well, just go put those in the trash. We don't need them. Thank you.
So I can't say that I've ever enjoyed any of the horror movies that I have seen, but I don't like any horror movies. I've seen some pretty, yeah. I've seen some gory ones, like this is how I watch horror, like that.
Yeah.
I don't watch them at all.
I can't. They stay with me. I mean, I've been forced to watch some stuff. So
Yeah.
the shit people have made me watch, the stuff that has stuck with me the most is like It.
Yo, if you ever used to watch like Twilight Zone, or if you've ever seen the original Exorcist, like that was the first horror movie that I ever watched with my mom. My mother and my other siblings are huge horror buffs. Like they live for the horror.
That's my husband. He's all day horror movies. Anything,
Yeah, I
horror
can't.
movie, horror show, horror anything. That's why we don't watch TV together, because I can't. Okay, we have another one. Q&A favorite classic movie. Too easy. Gone with the Wind. Hello. It's my life. I am Scarlett O'Hara, reincarnated as a black and Mexican chick in this time.
Mine was The Imitation of Life.
You have to be all fancy and like.
It spoke to me. It spoke to me. If I had to go with a very classic movie.
Stop making me look stupid, Monero. You have to like.
I'm not making. Gone with the Wind is a classic. It just didn't speak to me as much as The Imitation of Life did.
Okay, so Q&A from AI. Is it AI or AO? Red Sox fan. AI or I can't tell if that's L or I.
I think that's
I.
Al, Red Sox fan. I think that's Al. Yeah.
We're about to find out in a minute. Favorite comedy? I guess movie, right?
Coming to America.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. Either Coming to America or Harlem Nights.
Yes.
Oh, now you're going to shoot me in my pinky toe.
No. It
You
is.
quick. Not curse words. Yeah, Coming to America, Harlem Nights. Of course, Friday. You know, that was like a cult classic growing up. Exorcist freaked me out 2 spots. Like I watched it one time and I can't watch it again.
Yeah.
The Big Lebowski, yes, that was a good one. Isn't that the one where he says like, "You're killing me, Smalls"? McDonald's.
Yeah, that was funny.
They have the golden arches. Ours is the golden arch.
That was funny. Oh, man.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Dish, and Breakfast Club. I mean, I know we've had this movie conversation before.
Yo,
it's taking me back.
John Hughes film that had the original Brat Packs in it, I was down for.
So
I could watch those all the time. Yo, Pretty in Pink, freaking yeah, Sweet 16. Sweet 16 was hilarious, yo.
God, is that the one where they had like the Asian
Long Duck Kong? Oh my God! Oh, when her grandmother comes and she comes, oh my God, you have breasts and they're so perky. I'm like, oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, that happens to my Nana did that. I mean, mine were big and perky, but she was like, what are those? It's like, what?
Oh my God. That was hilarious.
Forget about me. Yes, David, thank you. That was the Sandlot where he says, "You're killing me, Smalls." It's not Big Lebowski.
Yeah, everybody had a crush on Phoebe Cates at Fast Time of Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
You know,
Candles.
It didn't dawn on me that dude was actually masturbating until I became older. It didn't dawn on me that's what he was doing when he was watching her in the pool and he was fantasizing about her coming out of the pool. It didn't dawn on me that's what he was actually doing. I was like,
wasn't she so pretty though? She was like, I watched some show where like it's a pranky type show. I can't remember, whatever the hell. But they had from frick, not My So-Called Life. Savage, Fred Savage. What's his name? Help me.
The Wonder Years.
Yes. And what's the girl's name? Like his love interest.
Winnie.
Winnie.
Was it Winnie?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Winnie?
What's her real name?
You asking too much.
You had it though. You were on it. I thought you had my back.
I don't remember. Oh my god.
Somebody can tell me Winnie's real name because she was on the show, and like so they prank each other, right? It's like these guys, they prank each other, and so this one dude's like lifelong crush is Winnie, whatever her real name is. Danica. Yeah. Danica.
John H. coming through.
So they set him up to talk to her and interview her, but he has to like go out in his drawers. He doesn't know who he's going to interview. He thinks he's just going to like go have a Danica McKellar. And he has to interview her in his like boxers, and he's like completely excited like the whole time as soon as he walks in and sees who he's interviewing, and she's in on it, so she's just sitting there looking at him like he's crazy. It was hilarious. But I was saying that because she reminds me of Phoebe Cates, because they have like the dark hair and the big doe eyes, you know, like I'm so innocent and I'm so hot. Oh, look at my innocent hotness.
But she was more, well, they were doing a show back when they were like, was it what era were they in, like the 60s or the 70s?
For
the Wonder Years, was the Wonder Years set like for the 70s, I think?
Well, okay, so we were watching it like in the 90s, right? And it was supposed to be like 20 years behind, so
it must have been have been 70s.
70s?
Yeah, it must have been
Winnie Cooper. That was her name, Winnie Cooper.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be Winnie Cooper, and I wanted to be Topanga.
Did you?
I did. And now that Girl Meets World is on, did you know that they redid?
Yeah, I don't watch any Nickelodeon. I'm not smart on anything on Nickelodeon or on Disney Channel unless it's what my nieces watch, which is Paw Patrol, Mickey's Playhouse.
You haven't moved up there.
Einstein.
Tween stuff.
Yeah, I don't watch any of that stuff.
So you remember how on like Boy Meets World, like it was always so serious, you know, like
yeah,
it was like a very special episode. Like everything was about like drugs and abusive parents and children with no calling, and it was just so deep all the time. And so they do that on Girl Meets World, and my daughter was like, I don't like this show. It's like so serious. I was like, yep, just like Boy Meets World used to be.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, well, I'm glad that they can bring those things because it kind of shows you how it comes full circle, how the same issues that the parents used to deal with, their child also is dealing with that same situation, and it kind of, so now the ones that were kids now get to deal with the same situations that the parents were dealing with.
Tony Teflon just brought up Three's Company.
Take a look at my door.
That's literally
you. I love that show.
That is my shiz, like for real. I love Three.
Mr. Roper was the shiz.
Dude.
Mr. Roper. Oh my God.
But oh boy, help me with the name. I want to call him Jack, but I feel like that's wrong. Like the main guy, the main dude.
Oh, Don Ritter. Jack.
I said Jack. Okay. I said Jack, but I feel like that was wrong. But he was the guy, like he's holed up with these two hot chicks. And why they always, the best part about those shows back in the day is like when you made your entrance onto the episode, everybody's like,
yeah, the studio audience. I always wanted to be a studio audience. I don't know why. I just like, man, I wish I could be a part of the studio audience. Because I always used to wonder. For a
watched
very long
Price is
time when I
Right.
was little, I used to be like, where did they get the people to clap? Are people clapping from their house and they can just hear it from the TV?
Yeah, it blew my mind too. So I realized they're pushing a button and they're like,
Oh man, I was such a weird little kid, yo. I just did not understand the world correctly.
when I first heard the radio, I was like, are there people in the car? Like, why are their voices coming out? Like, where are they coming from, Mom? She's like, it's the fucking radio. Shut up. I'm like, but why? How?
I at least understood the radio.
Well,
when I was growing up, my grandmother raised me, right? So my grandmother, only two things she would listen to: easy listening or the Christian channel. That's it. It was either easy listening or the Christian channel.
Well, we were raised on two different things because it was either NWA or Keith Sweat.
Well, I got to listen to disco and all that other stuff because my uncle and my aunt, when I was born, they were still in high school. So they were kind of like my older siblings. So I would listen to, like, I would get exposed to like disco and R&B when they would listen to the radio. So when it was just me and my grandmother, in order for me to listen to hear, like, you know, rap and all that other stuff, it would be the neighbors, right? Because it wasn't happening, it wasn't going down in my house. So the one time she figured out that I was actually listening to something other than Christian or easy listening, I happened to be out. They were playing a song, right? Sugar Hill was with it. Hip hop, a hibbit to the hip hip hop, you don't stop the rocket to the bang bang boogity, up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie. She's like, where did you hear that? I was like,
Where'd you hear that boogity boo?
She said, how you know that? I said, I heard it outside.
The neighbors.
She said, that's the devil music. Oh, God bless
That's
her.
the devil music.
Oh, my grandmother, y'all.
That's precious. I wish
She was
somebody
born in 1919. Yeah, she was
Whoa.
like 96 when she passed away.
Oh,
She lived
wow.
a very full life.
Yeah, she went all the way through.
Yep.
Anytime you pass 90, like, you've done it. Like, you've succeeded. You hit the mark. You did that damn thing. And go on home.
Oh, Teflon says Thelma was tasty.
Nasty. He nasty. He said Janet had a fat ass.
Well, she did.
You talking about Janet Jackson as a little kid?
Yeah. That's who you're talking about.
She was a kid.
When she was on well, you didn't see much of her, but when she was on Good Times, but by the time she made it to to different, I think it was a different show. Did she play Todd's girlfriend on A Different Strokes?
Did she?
I think she played his girlfriend on A Different Strokes.
I don't remember. I mean, it's possible. I don't remember a lot of things.
And she used to be on Fame too.
I remember Fame. Oh my God.
She was on
I
Fame.
was supposed to be on Fame.
Get out.
Well, in my head.
See, it's one of those things where we interject ourselves, right? We interject ourselves into the story.
I'm gonna live forever.
Oh man, Leroy was my dude.
You couldn't move me from the TV when Fame was on. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah, I still love Fame. Fame was the shit.
Debbie Allen. Debbie damn Allen.
I'm surprised they didn't make it into some sort of a musical.
They did, actually.
Did they? Never.
On Broadway.
I never saw it. I've never heard of it being a musical.
Yeah, it was like a big deal.
I never heard of it being a musical. Seen the Tap Dance Kid.
The what?
The Tap Dance Kid. With Alfonso Ribeiro.
Oh Lord Jesus. He was tap dancing.
Act like you don't know.
I know who Alfonso is.
From Silver Spoon.
Yeah, Debbie Allen held it down. Yes, she did. She held it down
Yeah.
for light-skinned chicks way long ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to go into Wonder Woman territory. I'm trying to stay like off Wonder topic, off Wonderness. So somebody give me something else to talk about, or else I'll have to stop because I'm gonna go in on stuff I'm not supposed to talk about right now.
Well, I'm gonna have to jump off at 9 because I got to get ready for work tomorrow.
Well, damn, that's 9 minutes. So we're basically done. Oh, I guess I should wait. Oh, they said they were coming back. Okay, so I'll sit and wait. Oh, I'll be by myself.
No. Then I'll wait with you till 9, and then when they jump in, I'll jump out, and I'll just hang out in the chats for a little while I'm getting myself together for.
Are you
for
sure?
Work. Mm-hmm.
I would go to work. You can. I mean, I'll just sit here and just stare at the camera like this.
And everybody's gonna be like, what's she doing? Let's just talk about pillows. Let's just have pillow talk.
And I'll just do this.
Hush your mouth, Jeff. He just said Wonder Woman was overrated, although Linda Carter was banging. Yo, you wrong for that. You wrong for that.
Wait. Okay.
You wrong for that. Oh my
God,
you're wrong for
brought
that.
this on yourself. Why would you say, John? Okay, let me reread it. Make sure I read it right. Wonder Woman is. She's not gone. Was overrated.
Oh my God. You don't understand. You are insulting my child, the first superhero, female superhero of my childhood. You don't understand.
She's my life.
Okay? She was the first female superhero that I had seen Batman, I had seen Superwoman, I had seen Superman. Then Wonder Woman came on the scene. You could not peel me away. I didn't even care about Bionic Woman. Yo, when Wonder Woman was on, I had my aluminum foil crown, and I had my bracelets on, and I went and got my extension cord because I had to have my lasso of truth, and I was ready.
I remember her watching.
My grandmother would give me the side eye. My grandmother would give me the side eye all the time. Like, hear this crazy fool. Wonder Woman.
Even not show Wonder Woman, like Wonder Woman as a character, like who she is.
Yes.
Don't you ever try to say that she's not life, because she completely is. She's so strong and so powerful. And she's like cut, and I like that, because she's not all like just soft and cushy and, hips and boobs. She's got like guns and stuff, and she can kick your ass, John Hoffs. She'll kick your ass.
I mean, the show. I thought the show. Well, I was a kid, so I thought it was great. I loved it.
No, I love the show.
No, I loved it.
No. I love it all. Fuck it. I love it all. All things Wonder Woman, life. Like this morning in bed, I'm reading Wonder Woman comics. I had on my Wonder Woman leggings. I actually took a picture because I was like, I'm so Wonder Woman right now. I didn't post it anywhere, but I just took it for myself. I was like, oh my God, I'm so Wonder Woman right now. But come on, John Hobbs. You done fucked up. You done fucked up, right?
You was wrong for that, John.
Find me something.
I can't even look at your name the same. I can't even look at your name the same anymore. You know
Find
nothing.
me something wrong. Tell me a fault.
No, nothing.
Of the Woman of Wonder. Tell me something.
Alan says we got to get John the best pillow.
We need about 2 or 3.
No cookies. It was what, an 80s, a 70s show. Of course it's good. I mean, come on. You was probably one of those people that loved BJ and the Bear and Starsky and Hutch, huh? You were a BJ and the Bear kind of dude?
BJ and the Bear.
You never watched BJ and the Bear?
A blowjob and a bear?
No, not a blowjob and a bear. BJ and the Bear. It was a show.
Were there blowjobs in the show?
No, there were not any blowjobs on the show. At least not on screen. It was in the late 70s.
That sounds pretty boring then.
It was a really good show. It was around the same
yeah.
time as Wonder Woman.
Oh, look at you. It was a good show. It's okay.
It was a very good show.
I'm really
It was
surprised
about
I
the
haven't
same
heard of it.
time with what you call it, Magnum PI,
I know about Magnum PI.
Simon and Simon, Redford Files. I'm
You know,
dating myself.
my mom used to always watch In the Heat of the Night. Did y'all watch that?
Yeah, I used to watch In the Heat of the Night.
That song.
It had the guy from what you call it, All in the Family in it. So of course we had to watch it because my grandmother was a fan. We used to watch a lot of shows.
They watched like In the Heat of the Night, The Commish, Andy Griffith, and there's another one, like an old black and white one my parents used to watch all the time. It's the only reason I know this stuff, because I still don't watch TV. Like, to this day, I'm not a TV person, but people around me watch TV, and that's how I know about it, just from the stuff they watch.
Yeah, I was a latchkey kid, so I always watched TV. But again, over the past, I haven't had a television. But for the past, I'm going on 4 years now. I haven't had a television. That's why I say if it's not on Netflix or Hulu, I haven't seen it. So
Ooh, Monday Night Raw.
I haven't had a TV. But that situation may change by Christmas. I don't know. I may break down and get me a television since there's so much TV to be watched now.
Nah, don't waste your time. I really feel like time's better spent with other things, like being here. Instead of watching Once Upon a Time. Alicia Kingston, T-Baby, Brittany.
If I had a TV, I'd have been out too.
Once
Upon a Time I like Once Upon a Time. I'm watching it on Netflix, so I won't see the season that they're watching now. I won't see that until next year. So
I like it too. I just fell off. I have to stop fronting. Like, I used to watch it all the time, but I'm behind, so I don't like to watch.
I'm almost caught up on Netflix. So, but Luke Cage,
favorite X-Men.
Luke Cage is dropping down
this weekend. Luke Cage.
So I'm ready. September 30th.
Alan, I hate. I'm not gonna say I hate your name. I hate that I mess up your name every time I want to say it. Alan. He says favorite X-Men. X-Men.
What did he say?
Favorite X-Men? Question mark.
Oh, Wolverine.
Oh my God. Like,
I love
for Raw, like Wolverine. Like, everybody loves Wolverine.
I like that little dude.
Have you seen the new Wolverine?
No. Actually I was listening to Comics Explained. He did a video on X-23 who's supposed to be taking up the mantle of Wolverine.
She has, yeah.
So I guess it's gonna take me a minute to kind of absorb it. It's gonna take me a minute to absorb it because I don't know. You know how you're so used to a particular character, and when you hear the name, the image of that character automatically just pops into your brain. It's going to take me a minute to think of when I say Wolverine, that it's not the Wolverine that I grew up with. It's a different Wolverine. I'm not saying that she doesn't have, that she's bad or anything. It's just going to take me a minute for my mind to switch from the Wolverine that I know, that I grew up with, to this new Wolverine. And so I just have to take my time to kind of absorb that. Kind of like with everybody, with anybody that's replaced, right? Because they're going to be replacing Tony Stark with this new Riri character. They're going to be, I mean, everybody has to take up the mantle for somebody else. And so
but I really think, like, when you read it, it makes it so much easier to transition. Like, literally, the new Wolverine is Wolverine with, like, one less claw. She only has, like, two.
Yeah, I know she only has the 2 claws. And I know she's a clone. Again, I'm not saying that she's bad, but I guess I reserve the right to say that I'm going to take my time to kind of
and I get
absorb the fact that I'm not going to see this little 5'4" guy in a yellow suit.
But you do see
I have
him.
to now see Wolverine as this young girl.
Spoiler alert. I'm going to talk about the new Wolverine.
I don't think anybody
the quotation fingers. Anybody?
I don't think anybody in the chat.
Anybody that may watch it in the future, right? Like, whatever. If you're watching this, like, next week on Wednesday and you have not read this shit, I'm about to talk about Wolverine, the new Wolverine. She is literally, like, she's mentored by Wolverine. So he's there, you know, and we get to see him still, and they still, like, go do shit together and still fight, and, like, he's training her. So I think that kind of helps the transition, you know, because it's not just like, oh, poof, new Wolverine, X-23, and then you just forget about old Wolverine. Like, he's still there. He's training her and teaching her. And that's the best part is, am I spoiling stuff? I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
Well, like I said, I watched Comics Explained, his whole backstory on the new X-23, who's now the new Wolverine. I get it. I appreciate it. It's just that it's going to take me some time. What song do you like but are embarrassed that you do?
There's like some Taylor Swift song I really like. It's that really popular one where she's like, like the haters
you mean
hey.
Shake It Off? You're talking about Shake It Off by what you call it, Taylor Swift?
I like that song.
Shake it off. Shake it off. Oh my God.
Tell anybody.
John Hoff says like a prayer by Madonna.
Oh, with a sad face. He's like, yeah, you should be ashamed. You're a grown damn ass man. You shouldn't be listening to that song. Shake it off. Shake it off.
Oh my God.
David said he's not embarrassed. That shit is so sick. It really is though, but
I like a prayer by Madonna.
I do too, yeah. I mean, who doesn't?
I like all Madonna. I like all things Madonna. So
He just opens her mouth and I'm like, yep. We don't talk anymore. Is that
who sings that? We don't talk anymore.
It
sounds familiar.
No more. Look, I just went all R&B.
I love Dancing Queen, Ren. I listen to ABBA. I am a huge ABBA fan.
I like dancing.
And that is thanks to my mother. But I am a huge ABBA fan. Like, I love all things ABBA.
Tony, who sings that? Are you talking about the R&B version or another version I don't know about? Not the roller disco.
We don't
Who's
talk
in
anymore.
there?
Mine is we don't talk anymore. Man, what is that?
Only
Who
thing that comes to my
that?
mind is it's the R&B song. It's like, we don't even talk no more. We ran out of words to say. But that's not like
Charlie.
really, really
Hmm.
old. And it's probably not something anybody would be ashamed of.
But you talk about Charlie Wilson?
Charlie Wilson, we don't talk anymore.
I'd have to hear it.
Google that ish. Charlie Wilson.
Uncle Charlie. I can't front. I like the Gap Band. I like
Everybody likes the Gap Band. Hello. Hey, notice it's 9:06 and my sisters aren't here.
They're probably texting each other. Yo, did
I'm
you
about
see
to call these.
Did you see that? Yo. You know
They're
how we
officially in
chats.
trouble. It ain't that serious. It's once upon a time.
Yay.
They back.
Nick. I was literally.
Yo, I came back because that Teflon question had me burning, and I was like, I have got to answer that. 3 heads is the dragon, who's the man of Winterfell, and then there was another question.
Oh yeah, that's what okay, so he's the one that asked.
Now they all show up. Manono. Was I not just looking for these assholes like?
Yes. She was like, it is 9:06 and my sisters have not come back yet.
Y'all was about to get it. All 3 of y'all.
You know, we have some stuff to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ghost in Winterfell is Harwin. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that theory.
Harwin.
Yes, Harwin.
Really?
Yes, I'm gonna go with that. I am biased because of the fact that I was listening to Radio Westeros and they gave a pretty good argument for it. So I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon.
I'm gonna
the horse dude, right?
Yeah. See, baby, what do you think? Because I got a tinfoil answer, so let's get some real.
Yeah, I did like some real slow shit, and I joined like a random chat somehow, so I didn't even hear what question was.
Put it.
What you
Ghost of Winterfell.
Who is the? I have no idea, to be honest. At first, I thought I used to think it was Theon, but then I think one part of the chapter he was experiencing things as well. So I don't know. I've never thought too hard on that one. I just really came to hear what you had to say before I make myself something to eat.
All right. I think it's Howland Reed. I'll go ahead and throw out my foil. I think it's Howland Reed.
That's a good one.
Reason why I think it's Howland Reed is because I believe that there are Cranog men that are outside of Winterfell. I think that's who the Green Boys are, that are with the Umber, that understand Green Boys as an unbloodied, but they have spears. And nobody carries spears except for the frogmen with their frog spears and these freaking wildlings. So if they're not wildlings, how do you have an entire company with nothing but spears? They don't have maces, they don't have battle axes, they don't have swords, they have spears. And it's a whole company of them. And so I think that those are Cranog men, and that's my foil.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I can't.
You can't what?
Where are we at in the conversation right now?
Who is the ghost in Winterfell?
Either Howland or one of his people is my thought.
Okay, see. You down. Anybody else? What was the question? Did y'all have like a list of questions? Where were y'all on?
Well, we were actually answering a question that Tony had was, what music do you like that you're embarrassed by?
Yeah, we were on some other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we just like jumped in.
It's like, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm not really. I used to be embarrassed. It's really from a movie. Like I was embarrassed to like Grease and Dirty Dancing. Like it was super embarrassed.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Like, what the hell are you watching? but it's like I just loved it. I think I secretly like musicals, low key.
I
But then
do.
yeah, I love Little Shops of Horror.
Ain't no secrets of me. I love musicals.
I live.
The Moonwalk with Michael Jackson, you know, where it was with the big robot at the very end, and like I'm telling you, I think I do secretly like musicals. Also, what's the West Side Story? Like I really and the one where they were dancing. This is really movies, but then it's music as well. What's it? The one I was about to say Beat Your Feet. That's not it. The one Happy Feet. No, help me out, y'all. What's the movie where they couldn't dance anymore? It was like outlaw.
Footloose.
Footloose. Yes, yes. Like I like that, and
Oh my
like
God, you like all my
I grew up with
things.
brothers, and they would like laugh me out, like, "Why are you watching this?" and all this. Like I just kind of like that music.
Footloose, footloose.
Yeah, I'm like,
Everybody love Kenny Logan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who else didn't try to do the same moves? Like,
I know.
Did you ever try to move that you would see? Like, anytime I watch Fame, I would try to do the moves. I would like. Anytime I watched a musical that had any dancing in it, I would try to repeat the moves. Oh my God, I am a huge fan of Grease and of Dirty Dancing. And yes, I did try to do the moves. And yes, I did jump on my bed thinking that it was Patrick Swayze and it was going to catch me. So
Yes, like I just like that stuff. I saw The Wiz, but I'm not ashamed to say I love The Wiz. Like I'm not. Like The Wiz is like something we all watched on Thanksgiving, Christmas. Like it's always on BET. So I feel like every year I know I'm gonna watch it. But yeah,
And
I love when they.
I also like the white version, The Wizard of Oz. Actually,
I mean, that's but I love The Wiz.
You said the white version, like the first one. The white version.
follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick
I'm
road.
happy that they decided to do the live version on TV as The Wiz. Like,
Yes.
That was good.
So good. Yeah, I need
And
so
Verizon.
good people to catch a nice beat. Like the regular one was cool. Like I don't have nothing against it, but I mean when I just see like The Wiz, I get all happy inside. It's just one of those types of
He
movies.
said, "Don't nobody bring me no bad news."
like, go ahead, Mary.
I love it. I love
Did
it.
y'all care about Flashdance as much as me and Ren did? Because
I
Flash
did.
Flash was cool.
was my life. I wanted to be a welder and then stripper by night. I wanted to like bend metal and then like dance.
Who didn't hear that song and wanted to do the same flash dance move? She's a maniac. Yo, I used to have like my leg warmers. I used to wear my grandmother's stockings and put leg warmers on and my slouchy socks. She's like, "What are you doing?"
Leg warmers as we speak. I will not show.
my God.
But I used to love like also the dancing movies. I want to say it's Break or Breaking or something. Like I said, I'm terrible with names.
Breaking 1 and
I'm
2.
trying to save like the dance studio or something. I remember
Crush Groove. Are you talking about Crush Groove?
Yes, I love like those types of movies. Like
What was it? House Party.
I loved House Party with Martin. Like I like those types of movies. Yeah, and like I'm really more into comedy and action. Like those are the types of movies that I can watch over. Like, come on, Coming to America. It's like I've seen it so many times, but I still laugh.
Who doesn't laugh watching that? Yo, I can't even say that the jokes are corny. I like it.
It's funny. Like those are classics.
And I'm not also ashamed. I'm not ashamed to admit that I did like the Brady Bunch, and I always sung along the like the beginning song.
Mm-hmm.
I always sung that. I used to love watching the Brady Bunch.
I'm super light skinned.
I don't know if I should be embarrassed by that or
Yeah.
I used to like it's more towards the 90s. The show Step by Step. I don't know
Yes.
that show. I mean, Full House was cool, but I really found them super corny. But step by step, I was like digging it with the father, and they had like the mixed family and stuff. You know, it was part of like the TGIF night and everything like that.
And I used to also like Charles in Charge. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Oh man.
Yeah, Charles in Charge. Who was that? Who was that actor? That guy.
Scott Baio.
Yeah, he was it, right? Like it was all like Scott Baio in the Teen Beat or the.
Yes.
Yes. The other one. It was like Teen Beat, and then
I can't remember the other one. I used to watch. I did used to buy a lot of Teen Beat.
It was basically like fodder for your walls, like.
And the only boys of color that you could get on there would be Todd Bridges, Alfonso Ribeiro. Mm-hmm. There was one other one.
Is this a magazine?
Yeah, this was a magazine that was back like in the 80s. They used to come out.
Hey, baby.
I mean, I think they have another one now. They call it by a different name, but back in those days, there used to be a magazine called Teen. It was called Teen Beat, and they would have like all the different sitcom stars or drama stars, teens that were
that were hot,
that were playing teens that were like the hottest thing. And it used to be this. They would recycle the same 3 black guys. It would either be Todd Bridges, Alfonso Ribeiro. There was another one. I can't remember who it was.
Probably Will Smith.
Might have been. It might have been.
I used to get the Right On magazines. Did you guys used to get that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where you used to put like all your little favorite
I did. I used to do a collage. And they would have like one poster. They would have like a poster of one particular person. And I'm also not ashamed to admit that I used to have a Menudo poster. I know that's probably
no. I was down with
most people probably don't even know who Menudo is.
Not be ashamed.
So can I ask you guys a question? What's like a group that you used to listen to back in the day, but now you're like, I was so corny, like I was so into them, but
New Kids on the Block.
Joey Lawrence. New Kids on the Block, Joey Lawrence. The freaking Rhythm Syndicate. I don't know if y'all remember who Rhythm Syndicate was, but
The Right Stuff. No.
I'm telling you right now, if you had a thing for B2K, you go and look at that. It looks like a Burger King commercial now, yo. B2K looks like a Burger King. It looks like they're dancing on the grill. It looks like a Burger King commercial.
Wait. Never mind.
I used to be so in love with B2K.
Oh my gosh.
It was like and I got to meet them a few times, and it was like girls going crazy, like B2K, and I'm just like, hey, like, and this I don't know when I just started to realize like this ain't for me anymore, but man, when they first came out, you couldn't tell me nothing. I went to like all the Scream tours and stuff. I mean, I was geeking out over B2K, but now, what the hell what was I thinking?
What the hell? Like B2K? Oh my God! What?
They were cute. I thought they were cute when they came out. B2K for me, if I had to liken somebody back in my era, I would have to say it had to be New Edition.
Yeah,
New Edition was the shit though.
Yeah, New Edition. Troop, High Five.
No,
those were the ones that they were like my B2. They were the B2Ks of my era. Like, yeah, those Guy.
They don't know about Troop. They don't know about Guy. They don't know about High Five. They don't know about that.
Like, I was not geeking over him. Like, I was geeking over B2K and like Immature. You could not tell me.
Oh wait,
everybody liked Immature.
And there was Immature, the IMX. You could not tell me.
Yo,
like, every time they got older, they were changing their name. I was like, what are you gonna be next?
Yo, Immature came to my school one time and started a fucking riot
I bet.
of little girls running through the damn hallways screaming. Not one person went to afternoon class when they came to that fucking school.
I was in love with Romeo. You couldn't tell me nothing.
We all were. No, we all were in love with Romeo. We was like, forget you. Whatever your face is, and Marquis Houston, Batman, and the other guy.
Little boy.
Whatever happened to the little Chinese boy that used to be in the group? He just fell off and disappeared.
I thought he died.
Nobody remembers him. Is that what happened?
No,
They ate him.
she said she thought he died.
They had some Chinese food. They ate him.
Is he dead or
Wow,
no?
that's
No, I
special.
thought he didn't. I thought he died of like stomach cancer or something. That could have just been one of those rumors. Yo, in the 90s, rumors were vicious. Like, we didn't have like all this internet and stuff. So when people said you died of stomach cancer,
You were dead, yeah.
for a minute until we saw you on TV. Like, yo, we
It took like 2 weeks to confirm that, yeah.
totally.
Yeah, Silk was another one.
Yeah, Tony in here singing Silk.
Yeah, somebody rocking, knocking up.
Somebody knocking the boots.
I at least made
Ooh, what about
I made
H-Town?
at least one kid
Remember
to that song.
H-Town?
At least one of them.
H-Town, yeah. H-Town was in there.
I think one of them died though. One of the guys from H-Town passed away, but anyway, yeah, H-Town and Shy.
Shy, man. That day, as soon as that shit came on, the whole room had to get silent.
Do you guys remember the channel The Box where they would have like these shows and
Yes.
people would call in, they would dial, and you had to pay for it, but you would sit there wait for your video, and you would like, oh, I just need my video to come on. My video where it was just like, I needed to come on with Deborah Cox. Nobody's supposed to. I was like,
Yes.
Nobody's supposed to be
Yeah,
here.
we're not supposed to be here, and we can't be friends.
yeah,
Yes.
and So For Real, Candy Raindrop.
Oh,
Oh,
fucking
yes.
Candy Rain, man.
Wait, do y'all remember Imagine?
Yes, yes.
You keep playing.
Yo, I
And
have
As
that
Yet.
single.
Y'all
I have
remember
that
As
Imagine
Yet?
single on cassette still upstairs right now.
Oh my gosh, why?
I don't throw away my music. I don't throw.
You ain't got no-
I still okay. Look, I have
Clear.
I have a full stereo system. I still have the dual cassette hooked up to my stuff right now. I have 2 Walkmans that I can bring down and show you right now.
That's crazy.
John Hoff says, "Remember Millie Vanilli."
Milli Vanilli.
Girl, you know it's true.
Go, 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 girl.
That and
I love you.
Montel Jordan, y'all.
Hell yeah, Montel.
This is how we do it.
This is how
Montel, keep sweat.
So funny. What about like 90s shows? Because I loved Martin. Like I
That was
still-
Martin.
Yes.
Living Single.
I
Living
watched-
Single is still my shit.
Yes.
Every time I see it on the rerun, I'm watching Living Single.
Yeah, I used to love the Cosby Show.
Oh yeah,
I love-
Cosby Show.
A Different World.
Yeah.
I did love. Oh man, we
But
had some
Martin
really good
was
sitcoms in the '90s. What
Yeah.
was it? Was it Family Matters
Family
with
Matters.
Yeah, Family
with
Matters,
Urkel?
Fresh Prince.
Yeah, they had some good shows back then.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh,
That-
Yes.
My Brother and Me. Did y'all
Hanging
used to
with
watch
Mr.
My
Cooper.
Brother and Me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Goo punch. All the ladies, goo punch. Y'all know? Goo punch. All right now, goo.
Man, Family Matters.
Yeah.
I used to love Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I get you.
I was down with
never
Buffy.
got really into that. I was
I was
into
down with Buffy.
but not
I was down with that.
I was so into Charmed. So into Charmed. I'm still
Yeah,
into
Charmed was
Charmed.
good.
Yeah.
TNT every morning before I go to work. Charmed.
I didn't like it once Prue. Once she like died, I was just like, all right, this is getting kind of
Yeah. Prue was my favorite. I think they still held it down. I was glad they cut it off when they did because that whole Billy storyline was just absurd. They
I
needed
was
to cut
into
that shit.
it, and then it was too drawn out.
Yeah, yeah.
I keep asking everyone because we were talking about Narcos, and I keep asking, and I'm just curious. Also in the chat, has anyone seen Cocaine Cowboys?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm putting this on y'all. I love that.
Gisela Bronco. Listen.
Ugh.
This
I
chick,
still gotta watch that.
she was buying.
If you like Narcos, I feel like you will like Cocaine Cowboys.
Gisela, listen, she
Frasier was good.
was
Timo just brought up Frasier.
Yeah.
Sorry, B. Go ahead, B.
I
Go
like
ahead, B.
Frasier, and I love what you call it? Cheers. I love Cheers.
Yeah, and I feel like Seinfeld and I did like Friends. I'm not gonna lie.
Seinfeld and Frasier were awesome.
Yeah, I did like Friends. I did like Seinfeld, and I did like Friends.
Clarissa explains it all. Timo, you're like my soulmate right now. Clarissa explains it all on Nickelodeon was the shit.
Yes.
But you know what? The best thing about Seinfeld is that they made fun of like every little thing, and I think that the same dude who did Seinfeld did this show called Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes,
that show is so funny. He's like just on another level.
It's Seinfeld with curse words
because they could curse on there.
Yeah, profanity.
Right.
It's Seinfeld with HBO.
So he was like, "Get your own jacket. Like you knew you were coming out here at night. Like now you want my jacket." He went off for a good 10 minutes, and I died laughing. Can't make stuff like that up.
And shows were so awesome in the 90s. I don't know. There's really not a whole lot that's on now. Especially like the younger kid shows. I still check out, see what the hell they're putting out. I don't like
Oz. Did anybody watch
now? Watch what?
Oz on HBO.
Yeah.
Oz, yeah.
Oz was disturbing, but that used to be my shit. You just knew it was
deep.
Who
it was deep.
It was doing a lot of stuff.
I did watch. I watched some of the Oz, and I did watch some of The Wire, because around the time those show came on, I was deploying a lot, so I never could like fully catch up to any of those shows. But I did watch like a few episodes here and there when I could.
When The Wire came on, like phone, anything, you can't talk to me. It's just not don't exist. Like The Wire was my shit. Omar was my favorite. A man gotta have code. Like, I just love Omar. Like Omar was my man.
Omar coming.
I was so mad how he went out. I was so mad.
Everybody says that. A lot of people don't like it.
I love The Wire.
Omar is that it was like you weren't expecting for him to be gay, and at a time like in the Black community where it's not like how people are, and it was like this hard mother sucker, like he is the hardest, and he's like, yes, openly gay. Now I just shot you in the face. Like it was great for me anyway. I think it was great just because you don't see a lot of that. Like you don't get.
Oh, someone put Keenan and Kel. That used to be
Yeah.
Yes. Keenan and Kel.
All that.
Oh, here go.
All that.
Yeah, I used to love all that.
Welcome to Fat Burger. How do you like your burger? Can I take your order?
No, Good Burger. Get it right. Good Burger.
I'm sorry. That's all I remember. That I was already an adult when that was on.
Welcome to Good Burger. Home in a Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Yeah.
Orange
Did they make
soda.
a movie out of that?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
It's called Good Burger.
It was glorious.
Yeah, yes, it was. Who loves orange soda? I do. Ooh.
Is it true?
I just love those types of shows. And of course, I say it all the time. South Park is just that's my childhood inappropriate comedy. I don't know how. Like my sister, because she's older than us, she would hate when we would watch Beavis and Butthead because, like, the fact that they kept laughing, laughing, and she'll be like, "That's such a fucking stupid show. It's like melting your brain." And I'm like, I love it. I like The Critic. It was like a weird, like animation.
Yeah, The Critic was good.
I love that. And it was
I love Cowboy Bebop.
and it was another show called The Tick. I don't know.
Yes.
I watched The Tick
on Saturday morning.
Yes.
It was like, I know I should be watching this, but this is like super fun.
Yo, Tony just brought up Pootie Tang. Sadate. Sippy time on the yummy.
He's like, it's cold outside. You know, it's kind of cold. He's like, stop doing that. I love Pootie Tang. I love Pootie Tang. Sadate.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on from TV shows, movies. Old school movies that were awesome. Besides Pootie Tang.
Lean on me.
Lean on me. Oh yeah.
How far back are we going though with the movies? Because you know I'm
Enid just said I'm gonna get you, sucker. All them medals on your jacket.
Don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood.
Don't be a menace while drinking your juice.
That so many times. I could watch Face Off over and over and over and
CB4.
Over. Yes, because I'm black, y'all.
And I'm black, y'all.
I love
High five for the unison.
Let's see. Rand said Godfather. I liked all the Godfathers. I think the Godfather 2 is probably my favorite. And while we're on that mode, we got Casino, Goodfellas, A Bronx Tale, Scarface.
All day long. Yeah, Scarface classic. My daddy introduced me to Scarface. I was like 12 or 13, and we were chilling in the house, and it was like, oh, Scarface. I was like, what's that? And he looked like, what? Like, I gotta change this. My daddy put me on the Scarface and Godfather and Goodfellas.
I gotta change this.
Yeah, I think I watched Scarface with my mom when I was like 7 or 8. Like, yeah, she didn't give, but she was like, no, gangster movie. Yeah, okay, come on, here, sit here, watch this right now.
Yeah, y'all got exposed early. Like I remember when the first time when my aunt was getting ready to watch Scarface. This was like back in, I'm not gonna say. Anyways, I was still like in grade school at the time when it came out, and I wasn't allowed to watch anything that was too bloody or was overly had too much sex in it. Her husband at the time allowed me and my cousin, which was his youngest daughter, to watch it. And the first 20 minutes of that movie, I was like, oh my God. I had never seen that much because I'm coming from I've never watched a flick that had that much graphic murder or killing or nudity or anything like that. Because my grandmother used to tell me when two people used to kiss on television, oh, they're just helping each other out. They're just taking stuff out of the other person. I said, with their tongue?
What?
She was just like, they're kissing. What do you know about kissing? I had an old West Indian grandma. That's a quick way to get a backhand.
Don't say that. That's a quick way to get a backhand from the West Indian figure. Don't do that. Always say you don't know something.
Girl, these lips, sex. I have no idea what any of those things are.
I don't know what that word is.
Those were words that were not allowed to come out of my mouth. Sex, kissing, or anything that was overtly she deemed inappropriate. Oh man.
All right.
So of course I have to say all the cheesy movies that I watched, because I got to watch a lot of musicals and a lot of other cheesy movies.
Victor Victoria is my
Victor Victoria. You just said The Sound of Music. It's my absolute favorite.
The Ten Commandments was another one.
Pretty much any biblical movie that was out then starring Charlton Heston, I've seen. And I like Willow, I think, is one of my favorite 80s movies.
Yes.
Willow, Legend.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Labyrinth
Labyrinth.
is my absolute favorite.
I love Labyrinth. I loved all the, like I said, all the John Hughes movies, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink,
Breakfast Club.
Say Something, yeah, Breakfast Club, Say Almost Fire, like yeah.
John
Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Robin Hood,
all of those.
Men in Tights.
Robin Hood, oh yes, and The Princess Bride.
Yes, The Princess Bride.
Nah, Men in Tights. Men in Tights was like hilarious.
I am getting very, very pissed off. If I was that close to a horse's wiener, I'd be worried about getting pissed on.
Also,
the Men in Tights.
Half Baked, yes, T. Half Baked was a shit.
Half Baked.
I like
I want to talk to Samson.
I liked Money Talks. I did like
Money
Power.
Talk. Yes.
Yeah, I love Money Talks. I could watch that one kind of over and over. I like Unusual Suspects. I thought that was a really cool movie.
Oh yeah.
I think I said that I've like Face Off. Face Off is a classic to me.
I love Face Off.
You guys, I don't meet a lot of people that feel like that movie was completely epic. I feel like it changed my life in a lot of ways.
Face Off?
It was. It was.
Face Off is a classic. I can't tell you how many times I saw Face Off in an actual movie. Like I told my daddy, I told my mama, I told my uncle. Like everyone took me to go see Face Off. Like Nicolas Cage going crazy like that, it gets no better. And I don't know why I was so into that even as a kid, but I love it.
Both him and John Travolta, they were able to play the opposite. Like,
I've only seen it, I think,
amazing.
2 times tops. And that's because I was a kid and I didn't rule my life, so I couldn't just go as much as I wanted to. But I know when I saw it, I was like, just like
set it off.
Oh,
yes,
Set It Off.
I love Set It Off.
Queen Latifah, man, I'm sorry. Queen Latifah is one of my favorite.
I cried. I didn't cry for Vivica Fox, but I did cry for Queen Latifah.
Hey, you can't cry for Cleo. Like everybody cry. Cleo, like she lit that cigarette. She dropped that thing.
She said, "Yep." She went out. She went out like a G. She knew she was going out.
She got out the car. And it was like, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
And then Queen Latifah, when her acting, she had like the little clenched fists.
And the minute that I saw her say goodbye to Jada, I was like, yo, she about to go out. She's about to go out in a blaze of glory.
I wasn't ready. I did not know. I was just
She's like, yeah, I'm gonna meet you. I'm gonna meet you. Okay, I'm gonna go wait for you. Yo.
Okay.
I like Crooklyn and
yes.
I do not like Crooklyn.
This kind of went.
Just gonna say that.
No, Baby's Kids.
Oh,
I love that.
And Do the Right Thing. I like that movie.
Do the Right Thing. School Days. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Doing about.
You cannot bring up School Days unless I am completely prepared to give my dissertation.
Oh, Lord.
Because that movie is all about light skin, dark skin beef, which is a thing that needs to be discussed that nobody ever talks about, but it's actually like the fucking problem. Fucking problem.
It is, but we're having fun.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
A stream from like the other night when things got awkward and weird. Can we not act like the guests?
Oh, you're gonna do that? You're gonna do that right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be petty.
I'm gonna petty walk. Right, make
it. Like your eyes blue.
I'm about to be
petty Pendergrass over here.
Yes, I will be petty Tendergrass right now. Yes.
Talking about good and bad hair.
I'm like 6 years old, like
your hair.
like everybody else. You wasn't saying that when you were little. You wasn't singing the thing. Your eyes is blue, but you
ain't white. Your hair is straight because you pressed it last night.
I was like, oh shoot. And they was like, I went to the zoo and said boogaloo. I said, oh my
Jigaboo. I was like,
That movie was so serious. It really was. Yeah.
it was.
It
But
really
you know
was,
what?
bro.
You didn't realize what it was if you didn't know already what it was, right?
It was,
Like,
right.
you know, like
Exactly.
other people that watch it, they don't see what they're looking at. But what they're seeing is a shit that was put in us way back on the plantation.
And that I'm gonna tell you right now, in any HBCU that you go to, it's still real prevalent, especially if you're a person that pledges a sorority, because the AKAs are usually seen as the light skinned, pretty girls, and with the long hair, and then the Zetas are usually the ones that are dark skinned. So if you go to
That's not how it was on my
Howard, and that's not. I went to Howard University. We are an Alpha chapter school. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was started on our school. Delta Sigma Theta was also started at our school, and that is not true. They come
in my era. I'm sorry, I cannot speak for your era, but I can only
have a
speak
generation gap. Yeah, there's a little gap there.
I have to remember that we're kind of a few generations apart. So in my era, that's the way that it was in my era. So I'm
Brittany,
sure.
like, how is it, you know, where you went? Like, is there still that light skin, dark skin, good and bad hair situation?
Howard University in Washington D.C. Like, we are off that shit. Like, if you are down, we have discussions about it. Like, no one's not talking about it. Like, it's an all black school, so you're talking about colorism, you're talking about racism, you're talking about like what those systematic things are, like, on a daily basis. So I could see where people would get that from. But then even if you look at the history of Alpha Kappa Alpha and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and you look at the founders, they had both dark and light skinned founders. So yeah, I would see that some of that stuff probably permeated probably further south that you went. Like, let's be real about it.
I was about to say,
but
so okay, DC, like California, you know, they're way more progressive. So when we go to the South,
is what I'm trying to say. I've heard the rumors too, but when I went to Howard, it's an Alpha chapter school. Like, it's the Alpha chapter school. Everything just about was started at our school, and you don't see that. You see girls pitch night as alphas and as AKAs, and girls as bright as hell. You know what I'm saying? Light, bright, next to white, whatever you want to call it, that are AKAs or Zetas or whatever the hell you want to be. Like, that I agree that colorism is an issue in our community, but I wouldn't say that at most HBCUs, because not at my HBCU.
I mean, I'm not going to put it on the schools. I'm just going to say, like, in general, as a people,
I was only doing that in reflecting how the movie was portraying what was really happening in the HBCUs at the time when I was coming up.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about school days. I cannot speak to what it is now because I don't attend. I'm not in college anymore. That was back in the day, so I'm sure things are way different than they were then.
I actually didn't even tie it to college. I just took it as just like how we are. You know,
I was just keeping it in the frame of the movie. I wasn't talking out. I mean, of course, outside of college and in most areas. Well, let me just speak to my culture, because I'm not going to speak to anything else outside of it. I'll just speak to my culture. Colorism is something that still exists in my culture today, and we are now like far advanced within the 20th century.
Mine
and
too.
in my culture, it is something that still exists to this day.
It has not gone away.
No, it's
still really bad.
There. I don't say that colorism's not there, but I wouldn't like broadly stroke and be like it's a collegiate or a black collegiate thing. I think colorism is different now because it's not so much. You see like stupid ass hashtags where it's light skin versus dark skin, but it's not like it was when, at least from my experience, it's not like it was in the 90s when I was growing up. And motherfuckers really like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like
it's
different. The way that people are within it's different. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like
I'm just gonna tell you from like super duper brightness standpoint, that's just still, it's bad. It's really, really, really bad.
Bad like what? Like what happened?
Like everywhere I go, I'm already a problem because I show up, because I exist, because I'm bright as hell.
But
So
it's
automatically,
black people need to get off that shit. Did you know without any European admixture, if you go like on the continent of Africa, you got motherfuckers as bright as hell?
tell
Like,
them that.
stop.
Tell them that. I just show up.
Cut it out.
I just show up and they're like, this bitch thinks she cute. She thinks she. I literally have walked into buildings and only shaken people's hands, and I've had friends that were friends with the people whose hands I shook, and they're like, she thinks she's all that, she's this, and then my friend is like, oh, they were talking about you? Like you?
That speaks more about their insecurity.
That's all that is.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. It's because all I have, just because I am what I am, like because I have this skin color, I'm a problem. And that's what I'm saying, it's not gone. It's still very, very, very evident. I have to prove myself. I have to be like extra cool and extra laid back so people know like I'm not a bitch.
You don't have to be anything but you. You don't have to be anything but you.
Yeah, I'm not anything but me, but I'm saying, right? Like whoever doesn't take the time to try to get to know me, I've been labeled a lot just because I exist.
Yeah, I think we all have had some happened a lot. I mean, I've been in a situation where growing up in neighborhoods where girls were mad because I read books. So like I get what you're saying, but I think that speaks more volume of insecurities. I've had chicks that wanted to fight me because I've corrected dudes and say like, I've had like, I'll just give an example where I lived in like Southeast where dudes were cool and everything, but they was like calling females bitches like every 5 or 6 seconds. And it was just like, my thing is if you cool with me calling you a bitch, then cool. But if you're not, then that's when it paused. And they would respect that, but they would still go ahead and call these other chicks bitches and they would have a problem with that and would be like, oh, well, she thinks she's all that. And it's like, no, I just asked for a certain type of respect and they gave it to me. They would have done the same thing for you if you would have just asked. It comes more off as that's just insecurity more than what I am about. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets it. I got told since I was in like 2nd or 3rd grade that I speak like I'm white just because I know how to put a sentence together. I mean, come on.
I was like, oh, you got glass of milk, motherfucker. White people getting paid in this bitch. I was a different type.
There was something at my school one time, and I invited some of the people from my church to come with me. My church is a mix of races. I walked in with a white couple, just showing them where to go sit down. People thought that woman was my mother. I'm like, look at me and look at her realistically. And for real, I didn't think I was that light, but apparently in their eyes, I was. So
she was adopted because you spoke well. You have to have white parents.
Apparently, I don't know.
But see, that's
just
a problem. Like ignorance, though, is just because you can enunciate words does not mean that that's a white thing. That's just in general.
That's just someone that's educated.
Clearly, that's all that is. I think sometimes, in our neighborhoods, well, I don't know how everyone else kind of grew up, but in certain neighborhoods, they'll clown you for, actually achieving and doing things, but that's just insecurity being taught and not being checked. Like if you're confident in yourself, you don't worry about the next person. It's like it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with you. So you just keep it moving. But yeah. I mean, it's sad that you had to go through that, but I think we all I think Timo said in the chat, someone thought she was stuck up because, she talked clearly or because she read books or something. It's stupid, to be honest with you. But it doesn't mean that it's about color. I think that's more about insecurity within themselves.
Just know that if you are a person of color, whether you are one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, you have faced someone along the line has had something to say about you, whether it's you're not black enough, or you are too black, or you are stuck up, or you are this. There's always going to be a name that's going to be attached to you for one thing or another, because you can never just be you. You're going to have something attached to you.
But imagine if both races despise you.
Yeah.
You're not black enough,
and yes,
Yeah, that's how it happened. I'm West Indian and black. West Indian people for a while didn't like black people, and black people didn't like West Indian people. Like,
exactly. I used to go to high school, and people used to say HBO, Haitian body odor, Haitian body odor. I mean, that was my tag name every time I went to high school. Trust me,
well, those are
get it from both sides. You get it from both sides. It doesn't.
They know you're Haitian, and they're taking shots at you for that.
Yeah, but I'm still black though, right? So not only am I black, I have to deal with that. I also have to deal with the fact that I'm of a culture that most people identify as being stank. That's they want to identify me as being stank. So you'll get it from it. That's why I said it doesn't matter if you are a person of color. No matter what spectrum of that color you're at, you're gonna get some sort of opposition from either end. That's why I said it's either you're not this enough, or you're not that enough, or you're too much of this, or you're too much of that. At some point, you have to just accept you, and then just know that there's always going to be somebody that's going to have something to say. You're never going to be able to change that, no matter, and you'll never be enough for whoever it is that feels the need to have to say something.
So bring it in, Sphinx. Bring it in. Bring it in. Give you hugs. We've all gone through that, bro.
Nah, son. Nah, bruh. Nah.
We're here for you, here with you.
This bright ass skin on my forearms.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the best thing about black people, and I hope I don't offend I think that's the best thing about us is that we come in so many different shades. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I tease my god sister who's bright, like light bright, just like you. We like, girl, where your sun at and all of that. But I mean, and then you got people tease you like, girl, you been in the sun too long and all of that. It's just but that's the best thing about us is that we come in all types of color. Like, it's amazing that we come in so many different shades. Like, so I don't know. I think it's one thing is just to have tough skin. Like, it's because you're who you are. You're so unique that people are drawn to you. Like, take thrill in the fact that this chick is worried about you, and all you doing is doing you. Like, it's just like, oh, I must be that awesome if you're worried about what's going on over here, or you're like, oh, she's stuck up. Like, why are you so mad that I'm who I am?
Mm-hmm.
It's a personal problem, but it's like, hey, I must be living my life right there. I got you feeling some type of way.
So I'm going to interject here.
Go ahead.
Everything y'all said, all correct, all right? I came to grips with my shit a long time ago. As soon as I walk in a room, high yellow bitch, red bone bitch, light skin bitch, beige bitch, whatever, fine. But now I'm raising little girls, right? And they're all darker than me. And they all want to be my color. And I'm not happy with that, right? Because it's like, we go swimming, and my daughter's like, oh, let me cover up. I don't want to get too black. And I'm like, I'm out here like balls to the wall, like, son, please attack me, make me darker. And she doesn't want to get darker because, reasons. Yeah. So it's all good. Like, I've come to grips with I'm 37 years in. I'm over it, way over it. But now I'm raising girls, and my girls are like ducking from the sun. Their hair is like a thing, and then they see that I'm their mom, And they're like, oh, so you're mixed with what? Like, you know, you just have to be mixed with something. You can't just be black and have like curly hair. Like, what do you mix with? Like, it has to be something, you know? And it's just, honestly, TBH, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with on your own. And then when you're raising girls up in this shit, it's even more. And it's hard. And I know y'all don't know the struggle of like raising girls in this world where you're supposed to be all pretty and cute and your hair works for everyone and everybody says either you're slaying or you're not. You know, it's too much. I just want them to be happy with who they are.
But it comes from home. Like you telling your daughters that they're beautiful. Like because I mean, I can't say that I'm helping. I can say raising my nieces. I have them almost every other weekend, and my nieces are beautiful chocolate drops, and I make sure that they know. Like my nieces will let you know. You be like, oh, you know, you're beautiful. Yeah, I know I'm beautiful. It's one of those. It's a condition thing. You got to condition to tell them, like, you know what, you're beautiful because this is how you are. Like light don't mean that that's pretty. Your features are what make you pretty. Like you could be the darkest one in his face, but you're pretty because of your features. It really doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you're light. It's the same thing you gotta teach your daughters, is like you're beautiful because of how you are. Like no one's gonna be built like you but you. And when they're conditioned to that, when they get older, it's not gonna be so much as, oh, well, why am I not light enough, or why do I have to be dark? Because you start to like love the fact that your hair is curly and thick and it's not straight, because you can do a lot of things when your hair is thick and curly. Like it's just the facts. But
and thank
it's
God
more
my daughter, my 14-year-old has braids. Did you see her earlier? She was in here. I don't know if you were in here.
I
Yeah,
saw
you
it,
see her hair, like she's just now
out.
like
Zay's hair is awesome.
Like, because like I'm fortunate enough that like I had my father, I'm daddy's girl, but I had my godfather who was just like a father to me. And my godfather, he talked like he was in the 70s, still do, and I was his foxy lady, and you couldn't tell me nothing. Like I think it just comes from growing up and having people tell you, like, you know what, you're beautiful, and I love the fact of who you are for what you are because of who you are. It's a condition.
Right.
When you teach your children that, it will show. Like I tell my nieces, like, prettiest thing walking, like, because they're beautiful. But when they grow up having that confidence, like no one in the outside world can teach them that. Like that peer pressure, or you got to be this and that. No, embrace who you are, because that's what makes you you. That's why everybody likes you, is because of who you are. It's boring to be the same person, to fit in the same system. Being normal is boring. I tell my nieces that all the time. Be you.
Exactly. And that's why when my daughter, just last week, she finally just let her hair go and go to school. Because she'll let it go like on the weekends and stuff. But at school, like she would always just put it like in a big ponytail or something. So she was like,
you need to let that beautiful curly shit fly. Let them waves flow.
She said, everybody says I should just wear my hair out, so I'm going to do it. And I said, don't do it because everybody says it. Do it because that's your fucking hair, and that's what you got, and just roll with that shit. And she was like, okay.
I don't want to cut you guys off. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing, but
you gotta go make her burger. Y'all know it's gonna take her 3 hours to make her burger.
I'm just like, I'm a slow cooker. I cook everything slow. It turns out good, but I cook really slow because I don't want to.
What the hell are you cooking?
I don't know.
Burger. It's gonna take her 3 hours to make a damn burger.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
You cooking one pork chop?
Don't come for me, okay?
I have to go to the farm, chop off.
But you know, I just wanted to drop in because the convo was getting all good, and y'all talking about chocolate drops and all this other stuff. So I wanted to hear what y'all had to say, and the question about, you know, who's the ghost at Winterfell and the three heads of the dragon, which I'm not even sure if you guys even answered the three heads of the dragon, or if we just threw that in there. Talking way too long, so now I'm going to just say bye. Love you guys, and have fun.
RSUT, baby. Enjoy your burger. Don't take 3 hours to make it.
I can't promise you nothing. Black Lives Matter.
You're making a burger? Wait, she was making a burger this whole time?
No, she was talking about making a burger when we got done filming for Once Upon a Time.
I just burped.
I don't think anybody heard, but thank you for pointing it out now. So now we know. Wait, B, you had a question. Didn't you have something to say about some thrones?
I did, but in response to Tony's little comment in the chat, Black people don't love each other. We hate on each other, drag each other down. When someone makes it, they skip out on other Black people. Now, a lot of people say that, but I think that people say that. We need to be careful about that because we say it openly. And we don't say it in front of family. We say it in front of the whole world. We don't say it with any context. So maybe we understand what this means, but everybody doesn't. I think people need to understand that in this country, Black people were conditioned to do exactly that. We could not stick together. There were laws in this country that said if more than 3 of us gathered on the corner, we could be jailed. There were laws in this country that said that we were not allowed to congregate or to read or to socialize. Like, there were all sorts of laws in this country that made it so that in the event that we did come together, bad things would happen to us. If you don't believe, Google Black Wall Street and see what happened when Black people decided to come together and become an economic power in this country. Google banishment. Google Black banishment in this country and see what happened when Black people during the Reconstruction era decided to band together and buy property and create schools and create communities. We have been conditioned to not do that because every time we do that, something cataclysmic happens to the community, whether we are firebombed from the freaking air, tested on with syphilis, banished from our homes, lynched, murdered, raped, and killed. That is why, like, so before we all go say, oh, okay, well, Black people don't stick together, da 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 da, no one else in this country, except for that of Native Americans, and even to a different degree because of what was going on there, like, no one else has had to be separate in order to survive. We have had to be separate for so long in order to just stay alive. Like, look at it. Look at the laws in the book. There were laws that was like, you got more than 3 niggas in the brunch, you need to lynch them. Like it is what it is. Ain't nobody else have that. And I think that we need to recognize that and start teaching our children about ourselves. We need to start teaching like the world about us, not just Black kids, not just white kids, every damn body. Like, we're all in this country. People need to understand, because what happens is that people make comments like that without giving the context. And you might understand what it means, and I might understand what it means, but there are a lot of people out there that are lacking the critical thinking skills and the information necessary to actually draw a conclusion, like a real conclusion that matters from that. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, Black people, crabs in a barrel. But why? Where it's not some defect with Black people. It's not some genetic issue with Black people. It's a conditioning that happened over hundreds of years. Don't believe, look up epigenetic studies. Like, there's just so much. There's just so much.
There's so much. And you know what? These conversations need to be had, especially now. I feel like we're at some sort of weird turning point, like, I don't know, it feels like civil war, not civil war, but civil rights type movement era where, like, literally some shit's got to change. And people are going to have to get together and start talking. So there's so much for us to talk about. So much. Even, like, the light-skin, dark-skin stuff. Black people, police. Everything.
Yeah,
everything.
That shooting in Charlotte has me so livid. Like, I don't know, like, if you guys have not checked out the dash cam video and everything from the shooting in Charlotte, please do. Because first off, the police lied and said it was a Black officer that shot him. Y'all realize that. But when we look at the dash cam, there is no Black officer in sight. The person who shoots him is the white officer. What the hell? And it looks like y'all are planting a gun. Like, there is something truly, truly wrong here. And if they don't at least call them out for the fact that, I mean, honestly, you lied about who shot the man, who shot you. You lied about who shot him. If you don't think they're covering up anything else, then you're fucking crazy. Shot him, even though they know they have cameras. Let's think about this. They were like, oh yeah, Black dude shot him. He's on administrative paid leave. Meanwhile, it's old buddy boy over here who shot him, and no one is saying anything about it. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh, he had a gun in his hand. I'm looking at the video. I slowed it down. Y'all know how I do. I slowed it down.
You broke it down to the utmost second.
I didn't see anything. And I broke, yes, I did. At 52 freaking seconds, 45 seconds,
He comes 44 seconds from the dash cam. His hand exits the car and clears the car door. You see his right hand. At 45 seconds, he turns around. You see his left and his right hand. They're both visibly empty. At 1 minute and 37 seconds, you see him standing here and his freaking left hand is empty. I can show it to you. This is bullshit. Like,
it's all bullshit. All of it is bullshit.
It's so aggravating. Like, I don't want us to, go into it because I did want us to do Song Rising Fire, but
we're going. Damn it, man.
It's so aggravating. I just don't understand.
It's hard not to go in.
And as Wendy Williams is a man. Y'all go ahead and listen to that man if y'all want to. Wendy Williams gets on my nerves. Y'all go ahead and listen to that man if you want to. He doesn't know a damn thing. He doesn't know a damn thing. Y'all go ahead and listen to that man if you want to. Can't stand, and it's true. Actually, when you look at statistics, Black men do tend to date outside their race almost, I believe, more than double that of Black women. But I mean, that's really a discussion for Black men to have, not really a discussion for us to have. I can't. That's not a discussion for us, Tony. Like, that is a discussion for y'all to bring up and say, okay, well, why do we do this? That's not something that we can solve for you, especially because whenever there's an issue in the Black community, you always see Black women rallying around a Black man. Like, it happens time and time after again. Like, the civil rights movement was not Martin Luther King. It was all of the Black women that were doing the actual movement, and Robert Abernathy and all of those people.
They're not ready.
You understand? Like,
they're not ready for that realness.
So it's just
you gotta get your series started, man. You gotta get your series started. That's what needs to happen. We've been talking about it for like 2 months now, man.
For real, underground.
You gotta get your series started.
We're supposed to go way in.
Yeah, I'm ready. We could do underground, and I hear you, Mo. Forbidden Fruit, like, we can have a discussion offline about that. I don't think the world is ready, but
I'm gonna lose a lot of subs. I'm just gonna say that right now. When we get in on this,
I might get some
subs to the left. And
it ain't about subs. We don't do this just for subs. It's the content.
I don't do it for subs. I have some subs, and I know I'm gonna lose some of them because I feel a certain way about.
But my thing is, if you're losing a sub, then maybe they were never meant to be a part of your circle. Anyway, because my thing is, they have to understand that this is part of when a person subs to you. I know they sub to you because of certain content, but you also have the right to speak about issues that affect you as a person, because you are a person at the end of the day. Right?
But if you don't want to hear that shit, then you unsub, right? So then you lose subs. It's not a big deal.
That's why I said if a person unsubs you for that, they were never meant to be in your circle in the first place. I don't know if I'm making sense, but if they can't handle that topic, they were never meant to be there anyway. And that should be fine. If you're only sub to me because of one thing and you can't accept the totality of who I am, I'm more than a Song of Ice and Fire. I am an individual. I am a person that deal with certain issues, and I have the right to discuss that amongst friends, right? Because in every discussion we learn something, we grow, we evolve, because there's something to learn every time I have an open discussion with someone. Because I will never sit here to say that I know everything. I don't know everything. I'm a Jon Snow. I know nothing. And I only learn through conversations and discussions.
Right. That's why B need to get that series going, man.
I'm going to do it. Black Girl Bomb Died is going to pop off.
It's coming.
I have a blog idea called Black Girl Bomb Died, and it's going to be, I want it to be a news source, because what happens is that our voices get lost a lot of the time. It is what it is. People look like if you don't believe, just go to any website right now, Google the Charlotte shooting, go on there and look at the comments. You know what I'm saying? You want to know what it's like to be Black for a minute, go in there and read the comment section, yo. comment section will
I
make
stay away from them comment sections because it just pisses me off even more.
It opens your eyes. It opens your eyes how America still views.
Really,
I mean, to this day, people say, "Oh, there's no racism." A lot of people say, "Oh, racism is over. We don't have no racism." Racism is here every single day. If you are a person of color or a black person, or you identify as a black person in this country, you have faced racism at some point in time in your life. Some of us face it more often than not. Yeah, and it's not always overt. A lot of racism is usually covert, if I'm making sense. It's not something that people openly do. A lot of it is underhanded, and if you're not smart enough to pick it up, you won't understand that it's happening to you. So for people who say that, oh, it doesn't exist, they're living in a fantasy world. It does exist. And anytime stories like this or things like this happen, you get to see it more and more often. There was a woman who was the Trump's, I don't know if you've seen it. There was a woman who was I guess she was the head of Trump something in Ohio, and she makes the comment that there was no racism in this country until Obama became the president. Before that, there was no racism. And also she made the comment that, maybe if they were to stop having children out of wedlock and were to get an education, they wouldn't have these problems.
Meanwhile,
as far as I know, there are a lot of other cultures that have high rate of teenage pregnancies, that have not completed high school, that have had children out of wedlock. So hold on, before I get my words all mixed up, because I'm gonna get too excited.
Monero, I'm gonna let you hit your point, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Excuse me.
I think we need to, when we look at the world that we live in, we need to look at it with open eyes and not closed eyes. You need to accept the ugly truth about the world that we live in, as well as some of the good that's in it. And until we can all do that as a whole, we're still doomed to repeat a lot of the things that has happened in this country before. And it's like going through a cycle. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Word.
Does anybody, it got heavy, and you know what? I'm happy that it did. Like, I'm not mad about the heaviness, because this shit needs to be discussed. And we've been talking about, like, laying it out and really going through it. So, it's coming. We're going to talk about it. Because we're the Not So Silent Sisters.
And we are not fucking silent at all.
We're not fucking silent about this shit. When I have to have a conversation with my son, who's 12, and I'm like, hey, if a cop walks up to you, just throw your hands up and just, whatever he says, just do it. He's like, even if he's wrong, yes. Just do it. Just do what he says. So you can live. Yeah. We're going to talk about that shit.
Word up, y'all. Look out for that series, man. I don't know when it's coming, but we've been chatting on it and trying to get it up for a while. It's probably going to be on Lady D's channel, or we may bounce between all of our channels. We don't know, but Black Girl Bomb Diet, we're going to be talking about this serious shit. Like Sphinx said, like Monero. We are more than just Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire. We're people, and we live real lives. This is just things that we talk about, and y'all know us. We when we get to talking, we talk. We are not so silent sisters.
Not silent at all.
But we do. So yeah, Sphinxy's got to wrap it up. So go ahead, my lady.
Signing out. Lord Commander, go ahead. Pop off. Sign out.
Lord Commander here. Y'all, it's always a pleasure to be here. Thank y'all, everybody in the chat. Timo, David, Spots, Moji, Tony, Teflon, Renee, all of you guys, John, thank y'all all for coming out and hanging with us. We always appreciate you guys being out there. Appreciate it.
Lady D.
I just want to say thanks, guys. for coming out and talking to us and being a part of this. There will be further conversations on, the deeper topics. I'm going to set up the Black Girl Bomb Diet channel, and we will see. I'm going to really put a definite effort into it, because it's like I'm sitting here like, all right, I do all this stuff for Game of Thrones, right? Like, what if I could dead save somebody, you know what I'm saying, or put a cop in jail, or put somebody bad in jail or away because I slowed down a video and broke it down from what I saw. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if that really can't happen? And so I just want to say thanks for being a part of this with us, guys, and I hope to see you on our streams when we go live and start having the deeper discussions. And excuse me, of course, A Song of Ice and Fire will continue. We gotta finish those. We definitely had a couple of questions we could have answered.
But no.
Cassidy. Thank you everybody for coming out and hanging out with us, and allowing us to flow how we did tonight, and being a part of the conversation. We had some good laughs, and we were able to have a really productive conversation. We were able to learn a few things. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, my girls, I'm always so blessed and so happy to be able to spend some time with you guys. You're just catching a glimpse of the things that we do almost every day. So so glad that you all could be a part of it. I wish everybody a very great night and a blessed week. Peace.
Yeah, that's the best part, is like we go in like this every day, all day. NSSS, we're texting. We're like, these motherfuckers, they're
All the
trying
time.
us, blah, blah, blah. Like, we go in.
You guys only see a small amount of, like, we literally have whole freaking streams of chats. We talk day in and day out. It's not just what you see online.
And that's why we're sisters, because we get each other. And so thank you guys all for watching. Anybody in the chat, anybody that watches this after the fact, thank you for watching and sticking it out with us. This was a random one. I had my sister here earlier. She left. You guys missed her.
Hold on. I'm going to say it on record, because I don't want to, Tony, I don't want you to feel like I was going to steal your idea, but I was literally typing it before you said something. I was going to ask y'all if you wanted to do like what we did today with Once Upon a Time, Alicia.
Yeah.
Watch it together and we go and then we talk about it. I don't know, Tony, if you would like to join ours, you're welcome. I don't know if you would want all of us on it, because it's a bunch of us. So do your own whatever, but people, get it out there. Seriously, like, the more streams, the more information, the more discussion, the better. Like, if nothing else, let it at least be etched in the annals of history that we spoke out and we said, hell no. And we said, this is wrong. And we didn't lay there like Zora Neale Hurston said, if you don't tell people that something is bothering you, they'll kill you and tell you you enjoyed it. Like, they'll do it to you. They'll kill us and tell us we wanted it.
Yes.
They'll
And
like
that's
really
difference. Like, we can make a difference.
We can
Yes.
maybe. So if you would like to, I would love that, guys, if you have the time tomorrow. So yeah.
Word up. Yeah, set it up. My schedule is always flexible. You guys just
my son's first football game is tomorrow, so
that's all right.
Yeah, we can reschedule and make it a day where we can all
Tuesday.
I will
Tuesday, just not Monday.
I'm gonna try to stream it still. So if any of y'all can still make it, I'd appreciate it. If y'all don't want to, I got it. But I'm gonna still, because it's happening anyway.
Anyway, right? Honestly, it needs to happen. Like, this shit needs to be discussed. And we sit here and try to be all cute little YouTubers, blah blah blah, la 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 la. But no, we're black too, and we get pissed about shit.
Yeah.
I know I don't look black, but I am on the inside.
Oh my gosh, girl, you look black enough to me.
Right, exactly.
Black people look like, we come in like without admixtures. Do your research. Black people have different color eyes, different color hair, different color skin. There's more difference in between us
as Black people from Africa.
Well, only white people question my blackness, not Black people. Black people know I'm Black, but white
Right,
people, what are you?
We have more genetic differences between us in Africa than they do like across the rest of the world. That's the reality of the situation. Like there's more difference with us from tribe to tribe than there is in the rest of the world. Like think about that. Like think about how unique you are. Like I'm gonna stop.
I just want to say one thing. If you are not registered to vote, please go register to vote. Please go register and vote. Let your voice be heard. And before you vote, take the time to research the people that are running for whatever office, whether it's at your state level, your city, your local city level, your House of Representative. You need to research the people. Don't just go in there and just blindly vote one party or another. Take the time to look at these people to see what their past history has been, what their trend is, so you make an informed decision.
And vote local. Like that's one thing. So we might be screwed nationally, and that's just the truth. And the data was out there and told y'all what the hell would happen if you voted that woman in instead of Bernie. They told you what would happen.
Right. Right.
Data was very clear from the beginning. But anyway, at this point, in the event that we really are screwed, the best we can do is make sure that our local representatives, our state level representatives are on our side, so that when he does do the extremely screw crap that he's going to do, we have some help.
Do I have to go?
I'm not voting. Oh, sorry. I quit.
I'm half Mexican. Like, I have to go. The wall's going to go up, and I just have to run away.
Oh, shit.
I hope I can get Wi-Fi on the other side of the wall so I can stream. But if not, peace, guys.
All right.
I'm out.
Heart, y'all. We're going to see y'all next week.
Way too Mexican to be here.
Oh, Lord.
Bye, guys. Heart hands. Everybody heart hands. Now, do it. Do it. Do it.
You can't see it, but it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. These my bitches.
Really? Really, though? That's how we're going to end it?